Welcome back, everybody. Mobile Mayhem Season 4 semifinals and quarterfinals are here, and it is going to be a blast. As you guys know, this has been a pretty long season leading up to this. I'm definitely excited for what we've got coming tonight. We got a really good matchup in our very first game, that being Tribe Gaming versus Nova Imperium, which we actually saw last Thursday as well. So this is going to be just an entire night of great matchups. Hope you guys are excited for it. Obviously, we're going to have our finals, which is going to be a best of 7 alongside our third place game as well. Both of those will be taking place on Thursday, but taking a look at a couple of our matchups for tonight. If you guys take a look right here, you will see first game is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Nova Imperium. The winner of that matchup will move on to go up against Tragic in the semifinals. And then taking a look at the next game, NL Esports versus Violence. The winner of that game will be moving on to go up against Fierce, who is currently the top point getter in all of Mobile Mayhem. We're going to go ahead and hop on over to the standings real quick just to give ourselves an idea of where each of these teams stand. Keep in mind, there were a couple games that did take place off stream. I'm not entirely sure that these standings are updated, but regardless, it does show the correct top teams in each division. So Fierce at the very top with 170, Tragic at the top of Division 2, which is not something we really expected to see, especially given that they were a new team. So for them to be ahead of Nova Imperium and Tribe is a pretty big deal and should definitely make for a couple of really, really good quarterfinal and semifinal matchups day. Which games are you most looking forward to as of right now?
I was actually just pulling the schedule up to roll along with you. So, little behind today.
Nova Imperium and Tribe is the first game, and then NL versus Violence is game number 2.
I mean, I think I have to just, based on the standing of the teams ahead, I would say obviously the Tribe versus Nova Imperium is going to be, I would think, the more exciting matchup to watch. I mean, overall, I would say I would hope NL would outperform Violence, but Violence has obviously been doing exceptionally well, and NL has been doing underperforming quite a bit compared to what we would have expected to see from them this season. So that actually could end up being a pretty close game too. But overall, again, I think Tribe versus Nova would be a good rematch for today. And then obviously the semifinals would be just more high tier, intense fighting at that point. I mean, obviously Tragic and Fierce, two teams that have done just absolutely phenomenal. And then the winner of the quarterfinal matchups will be obviously the teams that deserve to be there.
Yeah, and something very interesting to note is that 4 of the 5 players on Nova Imperium's roster will actually be playing on phone tonight. So they do have what the players described to me as their secret 7th, who is Shibu. That player will be playing on tablet, but High, Swag, Wally, and Hex will all be playing on phone. Most of you guys probably already know that Hex is one of the most well-known Thumbs players, so he was one of the players that was already on phone, but Wally, Swag, and High all making that switch. Definitely interested to see how that's going to play out, and it's looking like that will be the future of the competitive scene for Call of Duty Mobile as well, so there are going to be a lot of these tablet teams that are going to start making the switch over to phones, and that'll definitely shake up the scene a lot and more than likely open up some opportunities for newer teams as well, as some of the teams that may not have been able to make it into those top spots playing on phones may now have a leg up in the competition. Definitely excited to see how that's going to play out, but game number 1, series number 1, is going to be a best of 3. So in the quarterfinals, keep in mind we do have a best of 3. Moving on to the semifinals, it'll be a best of 5. And then whenever we move on to the actual finals, it will be a best of 7. Thursday night, we will have the third place game as well for whoever does end up losing in the semifinals tonight. I do see we got a raid from Vague83 viewers. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. we are getting ready to hop into game number 1. So currently just waiting for our players to ready up. Both of these teams have also agreed to next season's rules. So for those of you who are unaware of what those rules are, only one of each operator allowed per team. With a couple operators banned, I believe the Hives, the Shield, and potentially the Ballistic Shield. I don't know if they ever decided on whether or not that was going to be banned.
Honestly, I think that's one of the most exciting rules of next season. Like, just to be blatantly honest, like, nothing has changed the game for Mobile Mayhem, at least as much as implementing that, because, I mean, quite often it just defaulted in players just falling back onto the Annihilator, right? Because it was just reliable, even through some nerfs. It was still just so strong with the lock-on and everything. So I really like that has been switched up. So I think that definitely is one of the things that brings an opportunity to switch up the meta a little bit more than some of the minor changes.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a game changer. Obviously, we do have a couple different weapon bans as well, alongside some perk bans, so there will not be any players using persistence, which is going to be something that's pretty significant as well. That was one complaint that a lot of viewers had previously, was a lot of times games just ended up devolving into who was able to get those kill streaks fastest, and whoever was able to get a VTOL up into the sky first ended up being the team that won the game. So having a lot of those score streaks eliminated from the competition is definitely going to play a really big role as well. But it looks like all of our teams are readied up, which means we are good to go for game number 1, which is going to be Hardpoint on Summit.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a great match to start off between these two teams, because it is a map you really have to work for, and not only in the gun skill department, but it really puts a lot of stress on the rotations, specifically because of how long and narrow Summit is. The first two hard points, pretty even and back and forth. It's when you start moving into P3 and P4 that things really get shaken up a bit by how important the respawns are. So we will often see Summit tend to be one of the lower kill maps as far as Hardpoint goes, but can also be a really heavy snowball map as well. So we will have to see how these teams handle it.
Yeah, currently we've got Leon holding down top control center. It will be Wally and Hex making their way up through there, trying to get Tribe off the hard point for the first time. We do see a couple frags coming in, but not able to take control quite yet. We got a contest on the way in, but Tectonic, no surprise to see him holding it down. 4 kills on the board for him already. He's going to get the Shock RC, which is going to roll out, potentially getting him a frag here as well, and a really strong start for Tribe Gaming, who is definitely one of the most experienced teams in Mobile Mayhem, especially when it comes to playing on phone, and we're starting to see it play out right now, as a lot of these Nova Imperium players very new to playing on phones, and we're definitely seeing that be a major factor as they do go out to a 49-2 lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. Tectonic picking up a double kill for the team. Lilby actually using a shotgun here, something we haven't really seen too consistently in a while due to some nerfs on shotguns, I mean, pretty much across the board. So definitely excited to see him pulling that out, trying to make it work. Doesn't work out for him there, as Wally does find the better half of that. He just was unable to find the shots that he needed. Tribe, though, they do have a pretty sizable lead right now, 57-14, with currently Nova on point. Lilby does pick up the kill with the nade there. But, you know, again, this is the real difficulty in this map moves into P3 and P4, and how you're able to make those rotations as an anchor for your team. We do have Tribe picking up some points once again. Shaibu, new player for Nova here, picking up a couple kills for himself, gets a double.
Yeah, and he will end up dropping to Bolu right there, but keep in mind the rotations right here are going to be absolutely essential, and it looks like Nova Imperium is set up really well for those rotations onto P3. Little B looking to make the break. He's pulled out the shotgun for himself, the HS-0405. Not something we've really seen at all in Mobile Mayhem, but just like that, Tribe comes storming through the hard point. We do have Wally on the low ground getting a couple frags, but it is Bolu getting his refrag right there. Tribe on the point, and as expected, the phone experience really coming in crucial for them, as we do see them pretty much dominating so far. We get a break for the time being for Nova Imperium, Swag and Hex been getting a couple crucial kills that will give them some big time on the hill, but because they're not able to get max time, that means this next setup for Tribe is going to be really solid as well.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So far, we do have Nova picking up some trickle points towards the end of that hard point. It's going to come out to about 30. But we do have Tribe holding anchor as well as getting set up on next. Lil B even has the ballistic shield out, gets 1 kill, finds another kill with that shield as well, finds a third. Lil B goes a little bit crazy there, does finally get dropped by Swag, who may have actually just picked up the anchor for Nova as well, and they were able to pick that up. So this is actually a huge opportunity, and there's points on the board where Nova can potentially still turn this around. But Tech gets a big double kill with the War Machine.
Yeah, Bolu follows up and gets an additional frag right there, and just like that, what was a great take for Nova Imperium ends up not lasting too very long as the quick retake goes in from Tribe, and really not a huge kill difference with the exception of High right here. You would definitely expect for a lot of these Nova Imperium players fresh to making the switch to phone to struggle some, but they're looking pretty solid. But as I say it, Bolu absolutely wrecking them with an Annihilator in hand. Shibu slides the corner, not going to be able to make anything happen, and you do have now Bolu with the Shock RC and the Pred missile ready to go. Just trying to get those last points that he needs to get the drone. He might be able to get the frag there as well. He does as he takes out Wally, and now Tribe only 3 points away from winning this game 1, and they'll be able to do it on the first hardpoint rotations as they come away with the easy win.
Yeah, and again, some of this could be credited to Nova Imperium are making the switch to phones. Tribe, obviously, now this is actually their 3rd season in on phones now, I believe. Yeah. So a little bit of advantage going over to them just due to the time and experience. As expected, very low kill game comparatively to some of the other maps. Top frag was 12 kills for Bolu, tied with Lil B. Tectonic not far behind, Leon not far behind, 10 and 9 respectively. Looking over at the other side, Nova also had some players popping off really hard. Shibu had a really good performance here. And as well as Hax, who's kind of more of a silent player for the side of Nova Imperium, I would say. Much more of an objective player as opposed to a Slayer normally. Came through with a big performance here as well. So the score may not show it as well, but I actually think Nova Imperium had a really, really strong and good matchup here. I mean, again, they did a great job of flipping anchor, going on to P4, had control of the point. Unfortunately for them, ended up losing the gunfight just as the point opened, and that ultimately did give Tribe the points that they needed to finish that one out. But you know, if Nova Imperium could have won that gunfight, that could have been a very different game, because that could have been, instead of Tribe picking up point 100 to 150, that could have been Nova Imperium actually taking a lead off of it.
Yeah, and it does, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it does make sense that Hax is going to play a little bit better, at least relative to his teammates, than he normally would, because he was previously the only Nova Imperium player that was playing on phone. So more than likely his skills will be able to shine a little more.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he's actually one of the most well-known Thumbs players. So not only is he playing on phone, but not playing Claw or anything else. Just him and his Thumbs. So we'll see if he can continue to frag out like that and potentially allow his team to get a win in Search and Destroy. If it is a 2-0 right here, that does mean that Tribe Gaming is going to be moving on to the semifinals, during which they will face Tragic, who is actually a newer team to Mobile Mayhem. So keep that in mind. Obviously, Nova Imperium would love to be able to push this to a game number 3. I'm sure the fans would as well, but it looks like we are good to go to hop into Search and Destroy on firing range.
Yeah, absolutely, and Search and Destroy definitely going to be an exciting matchup between these two teams. Nova, again, a team that we would typically expect to excel a little bit more in the Search and Destroy department, just based off of their history and record in Mobile Mayhem for Search and Destroy. But again, that switch definitely may put a little bit of a jagged edge on how they're able to perform. So we'll have to see if this is going to be a clean Tribe 2-0. Also, kind of feels like weird timing for going into the finals to make that switch to phones. But more power to him. We do have a nade hit marker coming out of high there who does almost get dropped. But right now, it is Nova with the player advantage.
Yeah, Shibu able to get that first blood there. That's going to be crucial in pushing Tribe back into the point. Gets another one onto Leon. Now a 2-man advantage. Exactly where Nova Imperium would like to be. Hit marker onto Little B, but not able to get the kill shot. He's able to stay alive for a little bit right there and follows up with a shot onto Swag as well. Nice 2-piece for him, and just like that, 3 players apiece as Little B now looking to make the push over toward the B site. Not going to spot anybody on back boxes, so that will open things up to push in with the GKS, 1 player on site. Hax looking to get the frag right here. Nobody spotted yet, and actually it's going to be Tribe making the rotation back over toward A as we do have Wally coming in to help Hax. And High currently patrolling that mid area. More than likely he will be the first Nova Imperium player to encounter Tribe. We see the smokes going in right now, so more than likely they have an idea what's happening. Bolu is going to be able to get the plant right there. No, he's not. Wally shuts it down right there. We got a refrag coming in for Little B. 2 players remain for each team. Hex making his way toward the bomb site. He's got a chopper in hand. Little B shuts him down. Marshy's still alive. He gets the frag onto High. And it will be Tribe Gaming taking round number 1.
That felt like an exceptionally long search and destroy round. Ticking all the way down into 17 seconds. I mean, at that point, it's really only just a little over a minute and a half, but it just felt like both teams were playing so passively. In the end, it was Tribe able to pick up that kill, as you mentioned. Marshy making a really strong rotation around, but man, Lil B popping off 4 kills for himself that round, so really, really big performance out of him. And Tribe will have another, including this round, 4 more rounds on attack. So we'll have to see what they're able to do. But what a perfect nade from High there.
That was...
Picks up the frag onto Lil B.
I mean, he could not have cooked that nade any better. Another first blood coming in for Nova Imperium. They really weren't able to capitalize on that in round 1, even though they were able to open up with 2 really big picks. High's actually going to miss the RPG shot right there, so not getting quite max value, but still, the amount that they've slowed down the Tribe push so far has definitely allowed them to prevent Tribe from playing the style that they would typically like to play. Trophy systems will be down, but Bolu gets the frag anyway. Swag shuts him down right there. A big snipe to even things up at 3 players apiece. We do have Marshy on the bomb site getting the plant onto A. We'll see whether or not we get the retake, and Wally gets the frag onto Leon with the GKS. A 1-man advantage for Nova Imperium. Hax in the top of wood, trying to find eyes on 1 player, and Swag's going to find Tectonic. It's going to be Marshy all by himself, getting pushed on the inside of Trailer, sliding the corner, trying to find the angle. He's not going to be able to do it. Hax shuts him down. Nova Imperium will win that round, and it looks like we will have ourselves a game here in game number 2 of Search and Destroy.
Absolutely, and you definitely got to give some credit to Swag. I mean, a lot of these Nova players making the switch over to the phone is already going to be hard on them. I think being the main sniper for the team is probably one of the more difficult positions to try to fill after switching devices. Just
I mean, look at Little B. Like, it took him a long time to make the switch as a sniper.
Yeah, and Swag hit some really clean shots in that last round, so really good on him for that one. But Wally picks up a double fighting Leon and Marshy. Shibu does get the kill onto Tectonic as well. Nova are running away with this round. They do have a 2-man advantage. There's another trade going out, but it's now just Bolu against Wally. He loses that gunfight. Wally 6 kills on the board.
And I've seen some of Wally's clips on Twitter. For how early he is in making the transition over to phone, this guy is really, really good. And just sticking to his guns with the GKS, not necessarily a meta gun, but just one that fits a specific playstyle, and he is making it work to perfection. As he is really doing a lot for his team right now. It will be a 1-round lead for Nova Imperium, as Tribe has not really been able to find a rhythm. Little B, the only player to be able to get anything going so far. And when your sniper's not able to find those opening picks, it's always going to make things complicated. Tectonic not having a whole lot of luck so far in finding people. He sees a cross right there, but can't land the shot. Shibu and Swag both having decent games so far, and he's actually going to get spotted as we do have Shibu on the overlook to the B push. Nobody going to be able to come through there anytime soon. Bolu now looking to make the push over toward the A site. Smokes are going to start going out here. Trophy systems will begin to go down. We do see frag nades going out. No kills in quite yet. We do have Swag in the inside of American trying to find the pick over onto the bomb site. It will go down over onto A, and Bolu pretty content to play that site. Peeking his head a couple times trying to bait out those shots from Swag. Still no first blood yet. Hax looking for the wallbang, actually lands a shot onto Leon on the inside, maybe making them panic a little bit, but only 25 seconds to work with, trying to shut down a Tribe Gaming team that now has a one-man lead. Not looking great, but Shibu does get the frag nade. Bolu's still on the site, and they've got to get an aggressive push in right here if they're going to make this happen, but Bolu shuts it down, and just like that, we're tied back up at 2-2.
Yeah, Bolu Tech and I believe it was Leon there, all finding kills just within a hair of each other to clean up that round. It's going to even us up 2-2, and Tribe are still in this. I mean, this is actually a really impressive performance coming out of Nova right now. I mean, again, even though they are players that we would typically give the edge in Search and Destroy overall already, it's not easy to make that switch from a large device to a phone. So really got to give them credit there. I mean, Tribe struggled for like 2 whole seasons to get on board with mobile, and Wally has just been absolutely popping off like crazy. So really shows the skill of Wally here for Nova. It is Tectonic, however, finding the first kill onto Shibu.
Yeah, that's going to be really big for them. We know this Tribe Gaming team loves to play aggressive. That will open things up for them. We do still have 2 snipers in play. Just like that, Swag shuts down Leon, and it's going to be 4 players apiece, now with only 1 minute and 10 seconds on the board. Wally has picked up the sniper from Shibu and lands the shot onto Tectonic. It's now going to be a 1-player advantage for Tribe, despite the amount of experience that they've got on phone. But as I say it, Bolu and Marshy storming into the hard point. Wally spots 1 player, not taking any shots right there, making the rotation now over toward trailer side. He's going to get spotted from that side, but Bolu's not able to get the kill shot. They're now looking to rotate over toward B, but they're going to stop in top 10 first. Not going to see anybody on the overlook, and that should probably give them a little bit of confidence to make this push over toward B. Obviously, Wally would love to find a pick right here, but not going to spot anybody yet. Having that sniper as a secondary is going to be huge for him. As we can see, both teams just making those little wiggle peaks, not trying to give up too much room one way or another, as the plant does go down over onto the B site, and the pressure is now on. I believe both Nova Imperiums have a sniper in hand, but Wally will drop to Bolu right there. Hex now going to need to clutch the 1v2. He's overlooking the bomb site, not able to spot anybody right here. If he can find a pick, anything is possible. Really just trying for the wall bang right now. That is going to give away his location, however, and now he is forced to take the gunfights. Doesn't take any shots right there. He has information, but not a whole lot of time to work with, and now we have Marshy peeking the corner. He knows he's got to take the fight. He gets the first one. Can he make the second one happen? He doesn't have enough time to work with. Marshy shuts it down, and Tribe Gaming retakes the lead at 3-2.
Yeah, and they did a phenomenal job there in really just playing the clock. They had the 2v1, and they were able to watch a couple angles. Once they had him narrowed down, they were just able to force him to play around the bomb without even actually being able to pick it up. Obviously, at that 6-second mark, he was able to pick up the 1 kill onto, I believe he picked up the kill onto Bolu, but Marshy, again, really just played it smart and was able to come in when Hax had to go for bomb. And that is going to be a Tribe 3rd round victory. A lot of these rounds really boiling down to the last second as well. So I think that is important to make note of between these 2 teams, is that the pushes are very, very passive, and the defenses are very, very strong. However, it is Nova Imperium on offense now. Hax was planting, gets hit markered by, I believe it was Tectonic, as obviously Lil B should not get hit markers.
Yep. And it is going to be Swag getting the first blood onto Tectonic once again. Obviously, the transition to phone, not too much of an issue for him so far. Bolu able to get a trade right there. Swag shuts down Little B. Nova Imperium with a man advantage once again. Not able to land the shot onto Marshy. 1v4 with the bomb down over on the A site. Not going to be able to land shots onto High, and Nova Imperium looking really strong on phone right now as they tie things back up at 3-3.
Yeah, and I am so incredibly impressed with Nova for being able to switch over to phones. I mean, now they may have already been practicing a little bit on phones leading up to this and have finally just decided to make the official switch. But, I mean, either way, still got to be proud of these guys coming through with such a strong performance. And, you know, again, these are two of the teams competing for the top of Division 2, so no surprise here that this has been an intense matchup. Yeah, and again, even that first matchup of Hardpoint, I mean, the score, despite it being, you know, about 50 to 150, there was a lot of opportunity for Nova, and unfortunately, just the way Summit works, they just did struggle a little bit off of very few gunfights as well. So that is important to make note of.
Some of the slide peek shots that that Swag is landing right now are absolutely ridiculous. Like, shots that we would be surprised to see out of a phone player, or out of a tablet player, much less a phone player. He's going to peek the corner. Obviously doesn't want to give Little B too much. It's once again a 1v4 for Bolu, as he only has 15 seconds to work with, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be possible right now. He's not able to get the kill shot. He is able to take out Wally, getting a little bit for his KD, but once again, Swag shuts him down. 9 kills on the board for him, and looking like this transition over to phone is just not affecting him at all. And Nova Imperium looking like they could very well push this to a game number 3. Now, they did struggle a lot in the respawn. We'll see if that's going to continue to be one of their biggest downsides in making this switch, but right now looking so good, as we do have Shibu once again getting first blood. Little B is able to get the frag onto Swag, but Wally gets a refrag right there, and just like that, Nova Imperium with a man lead again.
Yeah, and man, Wally up at 9 kills is absolutely huge for Nova. Swag as well, 9 kills on the board, and again, one of the more difficult positions I would think to fill in is that sniper position, and Swag is just absolutely popping off like a madman. Hack's doing pretty well as well. Obviously, he led in kills for the team in Hardpoint. Not doing too shabby here in Search and Destroy either, with 5 kills on the board. So, pretty back and forth game though, and again, it's the first 5 rounds definitely were playing out a lot slower than this, though. Nova have kind of got the bomb and really just played aggressive, and I really like that about this team.
Yep, it will be bomb down over onto B, a one-man advantage once again for Nova Imperium, and just in really solid control, just seeing how much this team can do when they do really put their heads down and focus and play with all they've got. We do have all players on site for Tribe, but High's going to get a frag. Trade coming in for Bolu. Now a 2v2. Shots going down. Tectonic taking shots. It's going to be him versus Shibu, and not a whole lot of time to work with. He lands the shots. I believe he's got the time to get the defuse right there. The perfect play with the chopper, and just like that, we're tied back up. 4-4. This one is absolutely going to go down to the wire. And we just have an absolute treat for ourselves in the quarterfinals, no less. Not even in the semifinals yet, so definitely make sure you guys stick around for all the games. We do have, once again, Nova Imperium pretty content to sit back, play for first blood. Swag has been so good about it so far. Shibu finding some big frags as well. We'll see if they're able to find one right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this matchup has been kind of one of the spotlight matchups all seasons. These teams have been very back and forth in the points. They've been very back and forth in their performance versus each other as well. So this, of course, was going to be one of the exciting matchups for tonight, and I'm so glad it was the one to lead off. And then obviously we even have more exciting games ahead of us as well, as obviously the winner of this matchup will move on to the semifinals And then looking at our next matchup, which will be NL versus Violence, the winner of that matchup will also move on to the semis as well. So a bunch of really exciting content ahead of you guys yet today, as we do have a couple kills finally coming through, and it's Tribe finding the advantage this time. Started with a 1-for-1 trade, but Tribe were able to pick up an extra 2 off the back of it.
And it looks like the easy defuse is going to go in over onto A. I do have Zim in Discord saying that Swag is the only one on Imperium playing on tablet. Their manager told me earlier that Shibu was going to be the only one playing on iPad. So, unless... Let me... All... I mean, their manager told me that everybody except for Shibu was going to be playing on phone, so not 100% positive on that one, but something to keep in mind. Swag may still be playing on tablet, but we do have Tribe with a 1 round lead, but unfortunately for them, we are going to have Shibu getting the frag right there, and they will be down a man off the start of the round. Marshy will get taken out pretty early, and that will make the defense for Tribe that much more difficult. We do still have Little B with the Arctic 50 ACOG in hand. Pretty much going to stop anything that comes at him at this point, but it looks like Nova Imperium going to go for the plant over onto that A site. Shibu is able to get another frag onto Tectonic right there. Now a 2-man advantage. Swag's able to shut down Leon, and it's Little B and Bolu all by himself against the entire Nova Imperium team. Little B actually getting pushed right here. Swag finds another frag onto Bolu. Little B's not going to be able to land the initial shot. Swag slides the doorway. We're tied up at 5-5 right now, going to around 11.
Yeah, it is a certainly exciting matchup here, Bobby. Gotta love having this be the matchup to start off the day. I mean, again, even though the Hardpoint score looked pretty bad for Nova Imperium, that was actually an incredibly close matchup. And it is now round 11 in Search and Destroy between these two teams. And a incredibly fast bomb play coming out of Tribe. This is much different than we saw Tribe play in the first couple of rounds. Marshy is going to get dropped by Hacks. So far 1-for-1 trades. 4 versus 4 on the board. We've got Bolu sitting, camping down here on the bomb, and Tribe just need to play this defense if they want to get the win here. Another 2-for-1 trade going over to Tribe. It's now just Swag and Shibu left, but man, at 12 and 8 kills, if you needed 2 people to be alive, it would be them. But in the end of it, it is Tribe closing out the 2-0 victory over Nova Imperium. And again, for Nova Imperium being on their first tournament day, at least, of this matchup, I gotta say I'm impressed, and I'm definitely excited to see them in the next season as well.
Yep, for sure it will be Tribe Gaming moving on to the semifinals. As you can see, Bolu and Little B with the big time carries combining for 21 kills right there, and definitely a great performance for them. Obviously, moving on to the next round, it is going to be very different, as they will be matching up against players that are not necessarily abiding by that GA, so whether or not they're going to stick with it, still yet to be seen. But regardless, it's going to be fantastic gameplay between all these teams, and should definitely be some great matchups to close out the night. Taking a look at the schedule, next up we do have NL Esports versus Violence. This will once again be a best of 3 once we move on to the actual semifinals. These are the quarterfinals. It'll be a best of 5. So the first matchup will be Tribe Gaming versus Tragic. Following that, we'll have Fierce versus the winner of NL Esports versus Violence. So still waiting to see what the results are going to be over on that side before we have our official semifinals bracket, but just waiting on our teams to get loaded in. We should be good to go. Something to keep in mind, Nova Imperium is a team that previously had been just absolutely phenomenal in the regular season and then struggled a little bit in the postseason. Last season, they were able to win the finals, but this regular season, they struggled in the regular season. So it's tough to say what we should expect out of them, and yet at the same time, you got to feel like they are overall probably a stronger team than Violence, as Violence has definitely struggled against some of those top-tier teams, and seems like a lot of their points have come from playing against some of, not necessarily the lower-tier teams, but the teams with the lower records. So based on what we've seen so far this season, I personally will probably give the edge to NL Esports.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to give the edge to NL just with how strong of a team they are season after season. And that's not to say that Violence have not really made a good name for themselves this season. There's obviously room for both of these teams. I mean, obviously to develop. I mean, they didn't finish in first place, so they didn't get the bye in the quarterfinals. So that is, obviously important to make a note. Also, to clarify for that last matchup, Swag was on phone. So again, big performance coming out of him for their first day on phone, and definitely excited to see how they're able to perform next season. But that is the end of the road for Nova Imperium for Mobile Mayhem Season 4, and we will be getting into our NL versus Violence game here very shortly.
Yep, definitely going to be another great matchup. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Definitely one of the biggest viewerships that we've had for Mobile Mayhem. Keep in mind, we are going to have the actual finals as well as the third place game on Thursday night, so make sure you guys get your notifications turned on and hit the follow button if you haven't already. Currently working on getting Nova Imperium as well, or not Nova Imperium, NL Esports and Violence loaded in right here. And we should be good to go as far as the bans that we have for the next matchup. Game number 1 is going to be Crossfire Hardpoint. We didn't actually talk about the bans for Tribe versus Nova Imperium. The HVK and the ASM 10 were banned, which is not too surprising to see. NL's ban of choice being the HVK, and Violence's ban of choice being the Choppers, so the DRH and the ASM-10 will still be in play in this upcoming matchup. We'll take a quick break so I can grab some water, and then hopefully by the time we get back, we should be good to go for game number 2.
Do we, real quick, Bobby, before you go, do we know if these teams are playing, or maybe the admin, are these teams playing on next season's rules or no?
I don't think they have agreed
I don't
to
think
that.
these guys are.
Yeah.
These guys are.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. Swag is in chat. Yes, I believe Swag can, or agreeing that he was on phone. So props to Swag for
big
for
big
making
plays,
that
Swag.
switch. Yep.
Big plays.
All right, I'll be right back. Apparently, I hit some type of a hotkey that disconnected me from the call, but regardless, we're back. Still waiting on our teams to get loaded in. We should have them stopping by pretty soon. Another thing for you guys to keep in mind as we do finish up this season, we do still have our awards voting for Mobile Mayhem going on. Those awards will be for the Marksman of the Split, MVP of the Split, and Rookie of the Split. I believe you can find those links on the Mobile Mayhem Twitter account, or if my mods could spam it in the chat, that would be fantastic as well. We are also, for the first time ever, going to have a Mobile Mayhem All-Star game. So that's going to be on December 29th. Keep in mind, we will have the full week off for Christmas, so no Mobile Mayhem festivities happening next week. But on the first Tuesday back, I believe Little B and I will be casting the All-Star game. We may do a TriCast. We may have an analyst desk. We may have all the above. Still yet to be seen, but regardless, should definitely be an absolute blast to watch once again. That will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as always. That's going to be a great one to watch. I appreciate the raid from Envoy. Oh my goodness, 240 viewers. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. We are getting ready to load in to our next matchup, which is going to be NL Esports versus Violence. For those of you who were not here prior to us taking our little break, as far as my expectation for this game, there's just too much experience over on NL, despite how much they may have struggled during the regular season. Too many good players. You got Tatio, you got Cheto, you got Envoy, Yuji, Dante actually making a reappearance, which is interesting. I believe previously he had not been with the team, so that's going to be interesting on the side of team chemistry. But even when you just look at the combination of Tatio, Cheto, Envoy, and Yuji alone, just so much that these players have to offer, and will definitely make for some great gameplay. Obviously, NL able to make their way up in the leaderboards. Division 1 was not quite as competitive as Division 2, so a little bit easier for them to find a spot. But also, this is a team that's been making their way up through the last couple seasons and can absolutely put up a fight. We'll have to see who's able to come out on top. Hardpoint on Crossfire is also a very different Hardpoint map. You play it much differently than you would typically expect to play a Hardpoint, whereas previously you would probably want to make early rotations. But with this one, you're almost forced to play with whatever the dice rolls to you. So if you're able to get control of the top Hardpoint, they're pretty much going to hold it down for the entire time, and a lot of it is going to come down to who's able to get the most time on P1, and then who's able to make that first rotation to P2, and after that, more than likely, it's going to be a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. It is a map that can kind of play almost like a hybrid of Summit and Crash. So very punishing respawns, very difficult hard points to break. The kind of big difference between Crash and Crossfire is that Hardpoint 1 is upstairs in a building on Crossfire. So we do typically see one team get a large point burst on the first objective. However, it is a little bit more difficult to full hold first objective and be set up for second objective that we would normally see on Crash. So that is like kind of the one big difference. But moving into P4, P5 on Crossfire, definitely difficult hard points to break. Respawns are not easy access compared to some of the other maps that we see as well. So should definitely be a exciting opening matchup between these two teams, and a lot of experience and rotations will have to go into the team that's going to win this one.
And we are actually looking at adding some other maps and removing some maps for Season 5 of Mobile Mayhem. Their aggressive nature, and should definitely provide some additional new strategies too.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of fun things coming up for Mobile Mayhem Season 5. Make sure you guys stick around for that. There's a lot of rule changes that really shake things up. Again, we talked about one of the bigger ones, at least in my opinion earlier, is the only one operator for each team is a massive, massive change. So that's a pretty big one. Obviously, the addition and removal of some maps is really big for switching things up as well. So definitely want to make sure you guys come back for Season 5, because all of it's uphill. Like, honestly, all of it's looking really good for COD Mobile COD Mobile competitive scene overall.
Yep, and it looks like stream may have frozen for a second, or at least on my end it froze. I think just refresh if it's frozen. We are waiting on one Violence player to join up, and it looks like we're gonna have a 4v5. Well, that's unfortunate.
That's certainly not the way you want to come into the quarterfinals, but I mean, I guess admin, is this a confirmed yes? Okay, Zim says this is a 4v5. Again, realistically not the idea for any team, but specifically going up against NL. I certainly don't think you are super happy to be a Violence player right now.
Yeah, and we got frags coming in pretty early for NL as well. Usually gets a nice 2-piece to get this team started. Dante's going to find one. Violence yet to find a kill. Down a man, that is not where you would like to be. You got to go above and beyond what you would normally be able to, and they're just not able to get a lot going right now. Lasry is able to get a big 2-piece. Once again, down a man. You got to find some way to get that guy out of the first hard point, and I just don't see that happening anytime soon right here, as they are not really able to get anywhere close to that hard point for the time being. Will's able to get a nice slide frag right there onto Dante, but still, if you're not able to get anywhere close to the hard point, it's not going to end up doing you a whole lot of good. Usually now making the push up to top side as they look to take control of P2 as well. Tatio is waiting on the stairway, and just like that, not only are they able to get max time on P1, but Tatio moving up to P2. He's got 5 frags on the board. Will climbing up the ladder right there, trying to see if he can get the take for himself. He will get the shots from behind, but we're going to see Cheto pushing up right here. He's got a pistol in hand. Will be able to shut him down, and a little bit of body shooting right there. Not something you would expect to see from a team that's down 43 points, and that does end up losing the hard point right there as well, but who knows? Maybe they'll get in their heads or something.
That was the we didn't get 150 zeroed body shot.
Yep.
So, overall, Tio and Yuji actually just breaking out of the gate, getting kill after kill. 6 and 6 on the board for them. Will and Lasry actually having pretty solid performance over here on the side of Violence, though. Will putting up a 5th kill for himself. We do actually... we had a good setup for next hardpoint for the side of Violence, but so far the side of NL have done a great job of clearing that out. Looks like NL are going to get the anchor as well. This is very likely going to be just a what I would expect to be a 3rd hardpoint win for the side of NL. I mean, there is an opportunity where we could have a stall for a couple seconds, but again, in a 4 versus 5 up against a team like NL, I just really doesn't seem like very good odds. So hopefully we can get a 5th player in for Violence for Search and Destroy, because I don't think there's a miracle comeback chance here for Violence as far as hardpoint goes.
Yeah, there's pretty close to 0% chance that they get the win right here, and like you said, probably going to be a 3rd hardpoint win, which you really hate to see in a quarterfinal matchup, especially given what a good matchup we had between Nova Imperium and Tribe Gaming. It looks like NL's going to be able to handle this one pretty easily. We expected them to be able to handle it relatively easily in a 5v5, so moving into a 4v5, not too surprising to see this as the result. Even with Will able to pick up 7 frags, decided to set up for next right there. I'm not really entirely sure what the game plan was with that, but at the end of the day, probably wasn't going to make a whole lot of a difference. Like you said, hopefully we are able to get a 5th player loaded in for Violence, as you would love to see at least a little bit of a fight come in, but we'll have to wait and see if that is going to be possible. Next matchup is going to be Search and Destroy, and we will be, let me see, over on Search and Destroy Meltdown.
Yep, and unfortunately for Violence, we see players readying up. And that is certainly not a good sign here, Bobby, for them. Again, hopefully, I actually think this has been a pretty strong team overall. So I'm hoping they'll be able to make a comeback for a Season 5 and perform a little bit better, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
But
we do have a couple Violence players not readied up, so potentially could get a player rotated in here. I don't see any info from our admins yet, but obviously being down 1-0 off the start against NL is already not a great place for this Violence team to be. Keep in mind we do have more matchups coming up after this. Next one will be Tribe Gaming versus Turbulence. That is definitely going to be a really fun one to watch, as Tribe looked very, very good in their first matchup of the night, and obviously Turbulence has been one of the breakout teams so far this season. But it looks like most of our players are readied up and we're almost good to go, which means we may potentially have a 4v5 in Search and Destroy as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, not the most ideal situation, but I mean, I guess it's better than straight out forfeiting to at least make an appearance.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, not the most ideal situation, especially for our quarterfinal night. It is what it is. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
Yep. And I mean, we can give you guys breakdown on strategy and everything else, but I think the strategy in Search and Destroy simplifies itself a little bit when you're automatically opening the game with a first blood and you don't even have to do anything to do it. So, as expected, we do see a push over toward the B site, usually with a nade in hand, sending that out, and it looks like Violence not even going to contest right there as they send everybody on over to A. Velo has the smoke in hand, usually over on the bomb site. He's going to be able to get the plant nice and easy off the start. Beetle is able to get the opening first blood, but Cheto quickly finds the pick onto Will. Cheto taking some damage right there, but able to hop up top side and not going to spot anybody quite yet. Velo does have that Kilo with the iron sights in hand, but Yuji is waiting behind him. Gets the shotgun frag right there. Lazary finds one onto Dante just like that. It's going to be a 2v2, but now it's going to be Beetle all by himself as Yuji has picked up the iron sight Kilo for himself. Takes him out with it right there, and it will be NL Esports up 1-0 off the start.
You know, all season long, Bobby, I asked Velo to to use the iron sight Kilo.
And now that they're in a 4v5.
Right. Now that it doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh.
Getting it pulled out. Definitely not what I wanted to see here, but you know, I guess it is what it is. Maybe season 5.
And it on my screen is showing that Yuji has the Kilo out, but he definitely has a shot. Okay, so he definitely has a shotgun.
Certainly has a shotgun.
That's a spectator glitch, I guess, as he is able to get first blood right there. Or actually, I guess Cheto got taken out pretty early on. Lazary finds a frag as well. It will be a 3v3 right here. Lazary making the burst shotgun appearance. Not what we expected to see. Velo's going to be all by himself. He's got the iron sight Kilo to work with. Yuji over on top of generators. Not able to find him right there. Envoy knows exactly where he needs to look, but Velo lands the shot with iron sight Kilo, making a two-piece. He's able to get the clutch right there. A nice, clean 1v2 with the bomb defuse going in. And it looks like Violence will be able to win a round as we move to 1-1.
Get ready for the next round.
I mean, don't want to say I said it, but like, this is what I wanted to see out of Velo this whole season. Is he had a really, really strong performance with the Iron Sight Kilo in Season 3, and then I don't think we saw it once. All of Season 4, pulls it out here in the 4v5, finds a 2v1 clutch. So definitely excited to see it there. Yuji having a big performance as well, opening up with 5 kills. I am a little shocked to see Dante playing here for the side of NL. I mean, again, I had heard that he was no longer going to be playing with them, so I don't know, maybe they were able to sort things out or whatever it may have been. We'll have to see what these teams pull together for Season 5. Obviously, there's potential for roster changes out of all of these teams, so could be exciting, but we do have Velo does miss the shot there. Dante picks that one up. Lazaro, was it Lazaro? Lazaro was able to find Cheto, and so far it's been actually a really, really good round for the side of Violence. It's now Dante all alone, unable to stop the bomb defuse, and it's actually a 2-1 lead for the side of Violence right now, which certainly would not have expected.
Yeah, I'm I'm definitely more than a little surprised to see what I'm seeing right now. This could very well be one of those cases where NL is just not really taking the game seriously. It's a 4v5. They know if they need to, they can turn it on and get the win pretty easily. But we've also seen NL struggle in the postseason before. There have been a lot of situations where they just haven't played up to their potential. But as I say that, they get a couple easy first bloods. Tatio gets the nade onto Will, and he's shooting bodies right now. A little toxicity coming in right here. Velo pulls out the Kilo, hits the first shot, not going to be able to, I believe that was a hipfire shot, which I typically wouldn't recommend at that range. He'll get shut down, and we're tied up at 2-2.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, this has been a good performance coming out of Violence so far, though. I definitely can't complain too much. I mean, I expected like maybe one round, but 2 in a row right off the start definitely gives them a lot of room moving forward. We'll have to see if they're able to pull it together. I mean, it would be a massive, massive uphill battle. It would be an even bigger upset, but definitely possible, especially in Search and Destroy. Because, I mean, again, one person getting a couple picks can be all that it takes to win a round. And we do have the bomb plant coming out from Dante there. Envoy picks up a kill onto Beetle. Yuji finds a kill onto Lazary, and now it looks like he's going to find the other one. He did on to Velo, and that's kind of more how I expected most of these rounds to go. But with that being our introduction to round 6, the bomb sides will change. So this does give an opportunity to the side of Violence. And again, I do think planters quite often have a little bit of an advantage just because you can send your whole team to one point. Obviously, that is kind of a hindrance when you're missing a player. But so far, Beetle is the first blood. But very quickly, it is turning very, very south for the side of Violence here.
Ooh, and Tatio in complete control right there. 6 kills now on the board for him through 6 rounds. Looking pretty good, and one of the interesting changes we've seen from NL so far this season is usually making that switch to the sniper role. Typically, Cheto has been the dominant sniper for the team, but you can see Cheto struggling so far, only 1 kill on the board. Whereas usually who's been carrying the Locust for the majority of the game, actually all the way up at 7. So we'll see if that's a longer-term change that we're going to be seeing. We do have Tatio cooking the nade. I'm shocked he didn't see the laser through the doorway right there. He's going to get taken out by Beetle. Just like that, we are in a 4v4. Will finds the frag on an Envoy. It's going to be an advantage in for Violence. Beetle's able to get the plant down, but the nade coming in from Cheto will shut it down. Velo and Lazary trying to make the play, but it's Lazary all by himself. Yuji finds the snipe on the inside right there, teabagging the body. The defuse comes in onto the A site, and now NL 1 round away from moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, and you would absolutely expect Infinix to win this matchup, even in the 5 versus 5, but the 4 versus 5 definitely not looking good for the side of Violence right now. Yuji popping off mad hard. I would absolutely expect that this is mostly because, hey, it's a 4 versus 5 up against Violence. That we haven't really seen Cheto with a sniper too much, or perhaps overall Infinix or NL not trying their hardest. But Velo does find a kill onto Dante there. Will actually gets the kill onto Yuji as well. So 4 versus 3 advantage. We did have a hit marker onto Beetle there. But still anybody's game. And as I say that, 1, 2, 3 NL find themselves a triple kill. It's now Beetle all alone. He does have bomb, but against 3 members of NL who I can't believe just missed him running through the doorway there.
I can't believe he didn't see any of them. That was just the weirdest timing, and we now see, I believe, 3 snipers in hand for NL as they feel pretty confident in their ability to clutch it right here. Beetle with the burst shotgun, which I personally would consider off meta. I know my friend Hitman loves the HS2126 and would swear on it with his life. Beetle will spot somebody making the rotation over toward A right there, and now looking to find a frag by Boiler Rooms, but Cheto shuts it down quickly with the Locust, and it will be NL Esports moving on to the semifinals. Keep in mind, this next matchup, or these next couple of matchups rather, are both going to be the a best of 5. So first one is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Tragic. Second one will be Fierce versus NL Esports.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the way we would have liked to see Violence go down here, especially with such a good season coming out of them. I mean, again, was a little less competitive of a Division 1, but I think they performed exceptionally well. I think they have exceptional players on the team as well. I mean, Velo, I think he's a phenomenal sniper. So hopefully, again, Season 5 obviously brings new hope and new opportunities for a lot of these players. And I'm really excited to hopefully see them make a return.
Zim, is the game plan for us to announce those awards now or on finals night, or you may announce? All right. Day, would you like to take away the awards?
I mean, I totally can, but are we not getting the 1, 2, and 3, Zim? Because before we've always done first, second, and third for each of these.
True.
There's a lot of phenomenal players. I don't want to cut anybody short by them not making number 1. That link does nothing for me.
Yeah, that allows me to vote. And while I would love to do that. Wait, so are these the... Are we only doing fan-voted awards? Wait.
Yeah, that was another thing. Isn't there supposed to be fan awards and players only? So, okay,
then why did you
fan
say
awards
not many people
on finals.
Voted? Oh, you posted that link because not many people voted, I think. Hey guys, vote on the awards. Vote.
Okay. There's a community form, and there's a league only form. Not a lot of the players voted.
So which one did you just give me?
The one that we use, the league form.
So I should not post that.
So we're gonna. Okay, so we're gonna do players on the finals night then. The player votes, or the viewer votes.
I'll give you both. So here, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna be.
Well, I mean, at this point, but do we want to give the viewers the extra 2 days to vote?
I'll give you the community standings and the player standings as it was voted by both.
All right.
They're separate.
I'm down for whatever you want to do, Bobby.
Zim is the king of Mobile Mayhem, so it's all up to him. No pressure. Just waiting for our teams to get loaded in as we decide what we're gonna do for these awards and everything. I believe Zim will be sending both the fan vote and the player vote momentarily. Interesting video going up on the Bobby Reacts channel, by the way. Just little self-plug right there. These are my channels, so I don't feel too bad about that.
Not so shameless plug.
Not really very shameless. Well, it's not shameful, so I guess it's shameless, but
I don't blame you one bit.
Sorry, that's the main reason that I'm not focused right now. All right, taking a look. I believe we're getting those entered in. There we go. All right, now you can take it away.
I mean, do you want me to do one and you do the next, or?
Yeah, you can take Sniper of the Split, and then because you're your favorite one MVP, then.
All right. So, for Sniper of the Split, third place was Sneaky, and I think top three is no surprise to absolutely anybody. So third place was Sneaky. Second place we had Swag, who had a phenomenal performance here tonight. And first place was the beloved Cheto from NL Esports. So congratulations, guys. And those are obviously going to be three of the Sniper names that we need to look out for in Season 5 of Mobile Mayhem. So hopefully we'll get to see you guys all return.
Yep, taking a look at Rookie of the Split. We only had 4 players that were eligible. Coming in third, we do have Riots for Fearless. Coming in at second, also from Fearless, we have Lethal, who provided us with some great snipes. And then coming in first place, Rookie of the Split, we got Resume, who had a little bit of Cinderella story of his own, starting out the qualifiers of Mobile Mayhem with a historic search and destroy defuse choke, turning things around, having some really big contributions to his team's strike zone. Definitely some fantastic performances from him throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, Resume, despite coming into Mobile Mayhem with maybe the maybe not the most ideal situation, had really big performances, and definitely excited to see him coming back. And just keep in mind, guys, these are the player-voted rewards that we're doing right now. I believe we'll probably do the community ones, between the next matchup, Bobby?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. So for MVP, we had third place, none other than Tatio from NL. Second place, we had Tectonic from Tribe, who has always been a staple player for the side of Tribe, and I was super hard on him at the beginning of the season, and I admit that, but he really turned things around here towards the end and has been doing phenomenal. And as I've been saying all season long, I would think it was an absolute shame if it wasn't Forsaken coming in first place for the MVP. And I think all of these is pretty much the same order I would have put them in. I mean, this is pretty solid player voted awards here.
Yep, I would say I agree with the majority of it. I don't really see any major mistakes. The one thing I say probably could have gone one way or another is the Sniper of the Split. I don't feel like Cheto had one of his best splits this season. I definitely felt like Swag and Sneaky both had some really big ones. And especially when you look at the team performance for Fierce, I feel like Sneaky should have been higher than third place. But at the end of the day, these are the player votes, so their vote counts the most. We will be talking about the fan voting, which is, oh wow, the fan voting is very, very different, especially in the, well, yeah, and I guess the MVP voting makes a lot of sense for the fan voting and everything else. But
I mean, I'll absolutely agree with the Rookie of the Split.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm all for it. All for it.
I mean, they got Rookie of the Split identical, but Sniper of the Split and MVP of the Split will definitely be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Currently just working on getting Tragic loaded in. We got 2 players, and we've been at 2 players for a while now, so hopefully we can get them loaded in. I'm going to grab some water real quick, and hopefully when we get back, we will be good to go for game number 3.
I believe I'm going to go grab a drink too, actually. I'll take that break with you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got all of our players loaded in. Once we got our day back and once we get our final player readied up, we should be good to go. Game number 3, or rather match number 3, it is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Tragic, formerly Turbulence. These are two teams, two very different teams. We got one team that has been around the competitive scene for a really long time and has a lot of time on screen. And then we have Turbulence, who's pretty new to the competitive scene, at least as far as the majority of these players are going to go. And most of these players pretty much bench players in past seasons, but putting themselves together and just making an absolutely phenomenal team right here. We'll see what type of a fight they're able to put up as we do get ready to hop in to game number 1. It is going to be Crash Hardpoint right here. We got Tectonic going up top of 2-story. Obviously, control of those important points is going to be really big. He's trying to get some time on the hill, but Space has the Arctic 50 ACOG in hand. He's going to shut him down easily right there. It looks like very solid control for Tragic so far. He will miss the first shot, but does get the follow-up. Bolu slides the corner, not able to hit his shots. And Space is a one-man wrecking crew right now as he's got 5 kills on the board in Turbulence in a really good spot off the start.
Yeah, and Turbulence have been doing exceptional all season long. And this is another one of these really great matchups because in Division 2, the teams that are all above 100 points that have been doing just phenomenal all season long was Tragic, was Tribe, and was Nova Imperium. Tribe obviously was able to defeat Nova Imperium in their matchup in the quarterfinals. Now they got to go up against Tragic, who I believe finished in first place, or well, obviously finished in first place for Division 2. So no surprise to see this being an exciting matchup. And, you know, of course, this is just going to get better as the night goes on. And then, of course, Thursday we have the finals for you guys as well. So make sure you guys are around for that.
Chaos with a really strong start for himself as he's able to pick up 8 frags. The FHJ on the way into the hardpoint, not going to find anybody yet, but he's got a sentry gun in play. Taking a look at the score streaks, we do have some persistence in play, so obviously Tragic not necessarily agreeing to the GA for next season's rules. We will see players on both teams not only using persistence, but also using a lot of those same operators. As you can see, currently 9 operators in play. It is going to be Tribe getting some major time on the hill. Chaos looking to make the push in. He's not going to be able to do it, and now making the rotation over toward P3. Not a ton of time going in for either team through those first couple of hard points, but Chaos finds a crucial frag, moving all the way up to 11 through the first 2.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would expect this whole series to go back and forth. I mean, again, these are teams that back and forth fought over and over for the for first place in their division. It does look like we are not using Season 5 rules for this matchup, which, I mean, again, was kind of Tribe and Nova opted to. Obviously, Tragic must have declined because I see a lot of Annihilators on the board, so gonna go ahead and chalk that one up. So far been a great match, and Tragic so far have the edge as well. Space finds a big double kill for the team. It's a wall bang collateral. Phenomenal shot coming out of him.
And he has been so good with that Arctic 50 ACOG, which has really been his go-to for the last little bit as of recently. It's a build that we've seen a lot in the Garena version, especially on the competitive side, but hasn't really made many appearances on the North American side until just now. Tribe really struggling to get control, but they do have control of P4, I believe this is for the time being. However, it is going to be so-so up top. Marshy going to be looking to get the frag onto him. He'll shut it down quickly. Big frag for them. They've got 2 players on the point, and now it is theirs to control as Marshy will hop back on right there. And now looking to peruse that outer area, see if he can find some frags as well. He actually knocks A-Flows off of his Annihilator. That's going to be huge. Chaos tries to push in with the War Machine. He gets the frags, but he gets shut down at the same time. Marshy's going to be able to get back on the hill. Lots of nades going out. He tries to get the frag right there. He's not going to be able to get it, but Bolu gets the refrag on the outside, and Tribe able to hold this down for just a little bit longer as they move to get this tied up heading into P5.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Tragic are just killing it in the kills department. Chaos, 16 kills on the board. Space, 15. 9 for So-So. Looking over at the side of Tribe, highest kill on the team is Marshy at 11, without a second player in double digits. And that really just goes to show how important Hardpoint can be for those anchor rotations, as we do basically have a tied game right now with a massive kill advantage going over to the side of Tragic. I almost said Turbulence.
And this is actually really big. We've got an Annihilator and a Goliath now pushing into this hardpoint. One of the most difficult breaks that you will find in the game. Marshy's going to be able to eliminate the Annihilator right there. He's got 427 HP to work with and 30 seconds on this hardpoint that he can get. We got nades, thermites, and everything in between on the way up. He's able to hold it for a little bit. They will leave this hardpoint at a little bit of a disadvantage, but Tribe made a really good push right there to try to minimize the impact of this Tragic team getting control of P5 pretty early on. They did a great job of it. We'll see if they're able to get control of 3-story right here. That will likely be the determining factor of whether or not they're able to pull off this comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, Space just not missing shots here. Chaos also almost at 20 kills. We have had quite a burst of kills coming out of Tribe. I mean, not even a whole minute ago, we were talking about players struggling to get into double digits. Marshy's now up at 17. Bolu's up at 15. Leon as well has crossed into double digits. Tech is right there as well. So the kill disparity, the gap is closing. Man, these points are neck and neck, back and forth all game. 121 to 116 right now. Tribe do have a slight lead, but obviously this is still anybody's game, especially as we are looped around a first hardpoint, which typically we don't see teams hold for quite as long as Tribe has been. So finally does do something for the team here, picks up a big triple, and will take Tribe off of hardpoint, and they definitely needed that stall there because, I mean, again, Tribe were just a couple seconds away from winning this game. I mean, we're going to cross at 147 for Tribe, so absolutely saved the game there. Let's see if they can bring it back now. We do have a couple players from both teams on board.
And right there, Tribe really capitalized on the fact they knew that this Tragic team was going to focus really hard on 3-story control.
Bolu just killed everybody!
Oh, that's going to be huge. Now, we do have 20 seconds remaining, but nobody on the hill for Tragic right now. Tribe's going to be able to hop on, and what a play for Tribe Gaming right there. Turning things around, even being down, heading into P5, they're able to get the short break right there. Marshy once again making huge plays for this team. Typically a sub, and in the past 2 weeks has just made some absolutely ridiculous plays to allow his team to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of these players are absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait to see them come back for a Season 5, no matter who wins here. Tribe, obviously a long-time recurring team, with some players that have really broken out from what we expected out of them, both pre-Mobile Mayhem as well as the first couple seasons. We've seen some big turnarounds for players like Leon, Little B, Marshy, all players that have really stepped it up in Season 4. As we've mentioned before, obviously not all-star players, at least coming into Season 4 that we would have considered for the side of Tragic. They're players that quite often didn't get to see much game time, and when they did, kind of had some back-and-forth performances. They've kind of banded together as a bunch of subs, which, you know, when we were watching them in the qualifiers at the beginning of Mobile Mayhem, really shined because they were all players with that level of experience. And they didn't hesitate at all coming into Mobile Mayhem. I mean, they finished Division 2, a incredibly close division overall, with very phenomenal teams, very phenomenal players, and they were able to take first place. So that says a lot for the side of Tragic, and I love that we have such exciting matchups here today, Bobby. This has been so far automatically a great day. I mean, even with the unfortunate 4 versus 5 earlier that we've had, the two phenomenal matchups that we've had other than that have really made up for a lot of it.
And given the teams that we've got remaining in Mobile Mayhem, like, regardless of who wins any of these games, the finals is absolutely going to be a blast to watch, and so is third place. Tribe, right. Tragic, NL Esports, Fierce, all really good teams, so regardless of who ends up coming out on top, both games on Thursday night are going to be super fun to watch. Just waiting for one more Tribe player to ready up, and we'll be good to hop in the game number 2, which is going to be Search and Destroy on Standoff. No doubt we'll see Space with the Arctic 50 ACOG in hand once again. We'll see if he gets a little more support from those surrounding casts, as he and Chaos did do the majority of the work in that game number 1 and just weren't quite able to come out on top. And I mean, this is a Tribe Gaming team that has improved so much in their Search and Destroy over the last few seasons. You got to think there's a chance that they could take a quick 2-0 lead. Keep in mind, this is a best of 5 rather than a best of 3, so we'll automatically be going to a game 3 regardless of the results right here. But it looks like all of our players are readied up, and we are good to go hopping into game number 2.
And I am glad you actually mentioned that, Bobby, because I did kind of forget that this was not a best of 5.
I almost forgot, and then as I was saying, I was like, wait, they won't end it if they win here, so never mind.
It's all right. As we do get into our second game between these two teams, will be Search and Destroy. I mean, it's really hard to say who I would give an edge to here, especially after watching that first Tectonic. What a shot! Oh, I don't know how you caught that one on stream.
I don't understand how he saw him. I don't know if that was a perfect prediction or what it was. Maybe he could see more than I could right there, but that was an absolute beauty. And just like that. Oh my, what? I don't.
What just happened?
Does he see something else on his screen than we do on our screens? Because
I mean, I certainly imagine there's a little bit of latency, but I mean, like, my goodness, I hope you caught both of those on stream.
From our perspective, it looks like he's having like millisecond reaction times on this. And now it's going to be Tribe in a 5v2, a very manageable situation. Beam's going to get hit by a nade on the backside of the point. He's sending out the Molotov, trying to do some damage. He's going to be able to. He does get the frag onto Leon, but he's in a 1v5. Somehow manages to get outside of the A site. He's going to have players in hot pursuit from behind. Won't be able to land the shots. Bolu shuts it down. And Tribe Gaming goes up 1-0 off the start.
I still can't really believe what we witnessed, Buffy. That was a great round for Tribe. I've got the stream open on my monitor trying to rewatch that because that needs to be clipped. Like, any of the admin here, that needs to be clipped. That was phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm definitely spectating tech right here. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of an easier A plant coming in for Tragic after the decimation that was the result of the sniper in the hands of Tectonic. Shots coming in. Leon takes out Beam for the first blood. The push is on for Tribe Gaming. Chaos will drop as well. A-Flow's taking shots. So drops. It's a 5v2 again. Tectonic gets shots from behind. Space has the Arctic 50 ACOG in hand, but no ammo to work. No, he does the two-piece, but the defuse comes in. Space nearly had the feat of a lifetime, but unfortunately for him, the defuse was already in progress, and we do have Tribe Gaming taking round number 2 as well.
All right, look here. Quad feed, pretty solid overall, right? Like even like respawn, they happen, right? Like they're nice, but a search and destroy sniper quad feed, strong play out of Space. As you mentioned, the fuse did come through, so unfortunately they are unable to clean up the round. But I mean, Space basically, to me, looked at Tectonic's big round 1 and stepped it up, and we definitely need to see more out of Space of that nature to help his team get through, because right now this has been a pretty dominant Tribe search and destroy so far, despite that round being super close. I mean, again, that was mostly Space just massively clutching up when they needed him to, and this is a much better round for Tragic, as I keep switching players and it's like, oh, died. So big round for Tragic here. They'll be able to get themselves a point on the board. Chat going absolutely crazy over Tectonic's snipes there.
Chat, Zim, stop playing on Tech's account.
Nice shots there, Zim.
Nice shots, Zim. Way to go, buddy. We're really proud of you. And we will have Tragic sneaking away with their first round right there, as they seemed in much more solid control. Take a look at Tech. He had sights on a player in top of Grandma's again, but it looks like Tragic is not going to make that same mistake twice. The plant will go in for Beamed, and now the pressure on for Tribe once again. Tech not able to spot anybody from top side yet. The trophy system does go down right there, but So-So gets a big two-piece. Tectonic turns, gets another onto A-Flows. He is in the flow state right now, but they've only got 23 seconds to work with, and they gotta hurry. We do have Space getting another frag with that Arctic 50 ACOG. Marshy all by himself. It's a 1v3, make it a 1v2. It's possible, but not likely right now. Then he's got the trophy system out. He just wants the frags, but Space says not today. Shuts it down, and just like that, we're tied up at 2-2.
Yeah, this is, again, right off of the bat with that hardpoint matchup that really went down to the wire. This has been an exciting matchup. Search and destroy. No surprise here that this is going to be a close one. And this could potentially be a long night ahead of us if the games keep going this well, Bobby. But I'm okay with it. Hope you're okay with it, too.
Absolutely. Sheesh. And we got another...
Marshy, big rotation out of Marshy. Can he find the kills, though?
He does.
Finds two.
Yep, the two-piece right there is going to be
Olu picks up the third.
Yep. In Space, he's still got the Arctic 58 cog, but he's going to get taken out by Marshy, who has been really big for Tribe, just time and time again. 7 kills now for him. Chaos trying to find the frag on top of Blue. He does get shots down below, but 4 HP, and his location given away. Not a whole lot of options right now. Tectonic looking to make the rotation, seeing if he can find him right there. DRH in hand, probably a Locust secondary to work with as well. He's going to slide the corner, spots him there, 1 HP. He'll be able to stay alive. Marshy taking the shots. Bolu ends up being the one to get the kill. Tribe retakes the lead at 3-2.
Yeah, and this has just been a phenomenal matchup. And honestly, I think moving forward, if you are going to be playing against Tragic, I think you have to start considering banning the Arctic 50.
Yep.
Because Space is absolutely crazy with it. Tribe have a really, really aggressive push up B side, but the aggressive counter push is coming through. Or I said that backwards. Tragic aggressive B-side push and Tribe with an aggressive counter push, but so far it has massively been Tragic winning out on that. And there it is as well. The 1-for-5 trade going over to Tragic as they close that round out based on kills. This is still anybody's game. Back and forth we go.
Honestly, with you say that, I'm a little bit surprised that nobody has banned the Arctic 50. Like, that would significantly limit a really major factor in Tragic's game plan. I'm curious to see whether or not that's something that we'll see tomorrow in the finals, especially now that we brought it up, because when you look at the factor that Space has been time and time again, it's all contingent on that Arctic 58 cog. If you ban that, that eliminates so much. So we'll see whether or not that's something that we do see in the future. We do have the first blood coming in as Little B has just not been able to get into a rhythm so far today. Only 2 kills on the board and struggled a good bit in that first game of Hardpoint as well. We got 1 player on the backside of this alley. Sliding up is Bolu. He gets the trade, and it's now 4 players per team. No push in any one direction quite yet as Bolu trying to find another pick right here. Players on the insides of the building. Chaos patrolling Blue, not going to spot anybody here. So in Graveyard, no information for him either. And Space right now just hoping he can potentially land a wall bang and open things up a little bit more for his team. But it is going to be Tribe now making the rotation back toward the A site. Nobody spotted quite yet. Tectonic peeking top side. He's able to take out Space. That's going to be huge for them. Leon takes out Soso. It's now a 4v2, even though they've only got 30 seconds to plant. They're in a great spot right now. Tectonic looking to make it a 4v1. He's going to spot Chaos right there. He takes him out. Beamed is going to get the frag, but he's all by himself against the 3 remaining Tribe players. He gets a 2-piece right there. It's actually going to be him now up against Marshy and Bolu, and able to take him out. And it's going to be Tribe retaking the lead at 4-3.
Yeah, it's been I can't believe how exciting this matchup of Search and Destroy has been, Bobby. Soso popping off like crazy, 8 kills on the board. Didn't see much out of him that round, obviously, because he died pretty early. But, what started off the first couple rounds of Space being really big for Tragic has definitely started to equalize out for them. Soso with 8, Beamed with 5, Chaos and A-Flows struggling a little bit down at 3 and 2. Looking over at Tribe, Marshy, I mean, absolutely nutty game out of him today. I mean, I'm glad we definitely mentioned him earlier as a player that has certainly stepped up for the side of Tribe over the past. Space with a big double kill puts him up at 8 as well. So, man, there's just so many phenomenal players in this matchup right now, Bobby. It's hard to decide who to watch. Like, really?
Yep.
It's like, it's just, I love where we're at in Mobile Mayhem. Like, the competition here at the top is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yep, in space, wow, I didn't even know that was a possible angle right there. Some of the plays we see these teams making absolutely crazy, and with the way Space has played so far this round, you got to think he is the player to watch. We'll see if he can open this up a little bit more. There's only 45 seconds to work with. This is not a great situation for Tribe to be in, especially down 2 players. They need to find some frags right here to give themselves a shot. The concussion nade basically makes the entire rest of that round impossible as they quickly get shut down, and Tragic is able to tie things back up at 4-4 right here. And this one is absolutely going to be another one of those games that goes down to the wire. Keep in mind, Tribe is up to a 1-0 lead. They were able to get the win 150 to 130 in game number 1 of Hardpoint. So we'll see if they can muster something right here. They've struggled a little bit toward these last few rounds against the Arctic 50 in the hands of Space. We do have First Blood coming in. So and Chaos finding frags. Marshy's able to get a couple of trades. Bolu and Leon getting trades for themselves. Beamed with 1 HP. Able to survive, but Marshy has his number. Marshy's going to spot Space right there. It's now going to be a 2v1. Sliding back to 4 corners. We'll see if Leon's able to get the frag right here. He's going to get spotted, but Marshy able to get the save. And Tribe Gaming just time and time again finding the right plays at the right time, and they retake the lead at 5-4. Not too surprising to see the carry coming in for Marshy.
Yeah, I mean, again, Marshy's just playing absolutely crazy today. I mean, I believe he was top frag in 2 of our previous rounds for the night, so no surprise that he continues to be on a big streak for them. Tectonic not too far behind with 7 kills, but that's still a pretty big gap from 11 to 7, considering that's then, you know, Leon and Bolu with 5. Lil B, a player who's actually been a stronger player for the side of Tribes, definitely struggling here a little bit tonight. So we'll have to see if he's able to pick it up and help get the team into a good position. I cannot switch to first person.
We do have a 1-man advantage for Tragic right now, and it seems like Tribe is pinned back, and typically whenever they're prevented from taking that aggressive approach that we typically see out of them, it does not end up paying off as they just struggle to find those later frags. We'll see if they're able to change that. We do have a sniper, I believe, in the hands of Leon, who's currently over toward boxes, trying to find the wall bang onto So and just not quite able to make it happen right here. But Little B, who we just mentioned, struggling, but finds the frag onto Beam. That'll open things up. 4 players for each team, but Space with the Arctic 50 in
Space! Oh my God!
He's just a 1-man wrecking crew right there. He gets the 4-piece to finish the round.
How do you get 2 quad feeds and search and destroy with sniper rifle? What a nutty player. I mean, started the season off all right. Obviously, for the most part, not a lot of people thought he was in that top 3 sniper spot. I'm starting to regret not putting him in Marks of the Split at this point. I mean, what an absolute crazy player these past couple days of the tournament we've seen out of him. 13 kills on the board to lead all players.
I mean, he's just having the game of a lifetime right now. Double quad feeds. That is not something you will see too often. And with the A plant coming in, the pressure is on for Tribe. Very reminiscent of their matchup against Xset, and not quite going the same way as players drop left and right. Space is going to find another frag right there. Make it the game-ending 2-piece. And he was unstoppable toward the end of that game as Tragic takes the win 6-5. And with that, we will be tied up 1 game apiece. This is a best-of-5 series, so we will at least be going to a game number 4. And with that, we'll be getting ready to hop into game 3, which is going to be Domination.
Yeah, what an exciting match that was, all the way down to the wire. And in the end, Tragic will take that game. So that puts us at bare minimum into a game 4 at this point between these two teams. We have Domination firing range for us right here for match 3. And that does guarantee us a Hardpoint Summit, which, I mean, again, as we saw earlier, can be a very snowball-heavy map. We will have to see just how these two teams are able to handle the firing range matchup, though the first matchup with Tribe that we saw up against Nova Imperium, both of those teams did agree to Season 5 rules, just to kind of help showcase them for you guys. That will not be the case for the next 2 matchups, or at least the next 2 rounds. That being Domination and Hardpoint, we will likely see a lot of persistence. We'll likely see a lot of Annihilators in play, and it'll be kind of nice to get to see the score streaks one more time before we never see them again.
Chat's losing it over Space's quad feed. Oh my gosh. I actually can't believe they didn't ban the Arctic as their ban gun. Like, that just makes so much sense.
I certainly think from here on out, if you're going to be playing against Tragic, you have to at least consider it. Like, whether you think it in the end of things is worth it, I don't know. I mean, that's obviously up to the players, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. You at least got to think about it, because, man, Space, what a crazy round he just had.
Yeah, I mean, that was something else. I just don't know what you do to counter that, to be honest. Like, with the rate of fire combined with the fact that it's a one-tap anywhere on the body, like, I don't know how in the world you're supposed to counter. We'll see if Tribe's able to do anything. My best guess for how you counter that is a whole lot of smokes, which may be some of the loadout adjustments that we see coming in right here. We'll see if Tribe is able to get the win in Domination firing range. But both games we've had so far have been incredibly close. 150 to 130 in Hardpoint. And then we got 5 to 6 in Search and Destroy, absolutely coming down to the wire. This is definitely going to be one of the all-time great Mobile Mayhem matchups that we have seen. And we're only in the semifinals, so we'll see what Game 3 has in store for us, as we got most of our players readied up. And with that, it looks like we are good to go for Game number 3.
We are getting loaded in for what is very hopefully going to be a exciting matchup of Domination. A lot of how the scoring of this match goes will likely end with a how did you do in the first half? How many score streaks do you have prepared to snowball in the second half? So we will definitely have to be on the lookout for that, as we do have, it looked like a player of Tribe did not connect at all to the match. So we'll go ahead and back on out and get them back in the lobby and ready to go.
I guess I have to leave myself, because there are
no players in here,
and the lobby is still there. Hopefully.
Okay, at least everybody's here. Everybody's here. We'll be ready to go here momentarily for you guys.
Okay. All right, chat. Chill with the spam. We don't need that. Okay. I mean, you're all just gonna get timed out. I don't know what y'all thought was gonna happen there, but just waiting for our players to get ready back up, and hopefully everybody connects, and we'll be good to go for game number 3. Just so you guys know the maps that we do have coming up. Map number 1, Hardpoint Crash and Search and Destroy Standoff. Obviously, we've already played. Domination Firing Range coming up right here. Hardpoint Summit will be map number 4, and Search and Destroy Meltdown is going to be map number 5.
Yeah, and just for anybody who did miss it, we did have the first Hardpoint matchup did go over to Tribe, and the Search and Destroy in a round 11 went over to Tragic. So, and the Hardpoint was like a 20-point difference. I mean, it was like 150 to 130. A very, very close match between these two teams. We do have a couple kills trading back and forth here to open things up. So far, it's been Tragic finding the better, but obviously being a respawn, they're not quite as important as if they would have been some Search and Destroy kills. Space has opted for the chopper once again, so No respawn sniper out of him, which we don't see a ton of players do. We do definitely see players like Sneaky and sometimes Cheto, Space especially as well. So interested to see if we ever do get to see Space with a respawn sniper out, but so far likes the ammo capacity of the chopper, allows it to set up and really defend a lot of areas, and he's done well with it so far. 3 kills on the board to lead all players. Almost finds a 4th. I think he found a major assist there onto Leon.
Yeah, it seems like pretty solid control for Tragic off the start. We do have Bolu with 3 kills on the board, but everybody else for Tribe struggling a good bit. They're able to get some time onto B right here. Bolu trying to slow down the push from firing range. Shots coming in. Beam is going to be able to get the frag. Players still on the hill, but they're on the point, but they're not going to be able to get it. A lot of time lost right there. It's actually going to be a double cap coming in. Beam getting a 500-point stack, or maybe a 300-something point stack right there. Regardless, it's a whole lot of points. He does get shut down, and it looks like the A flag will go back into control for Tribe. But Thermite's actually shutting them down on top of the Pred missile, and Tragic. Very, very strong plays off the start, as we do barely have control going back on over to Tribe, but a 14-point lead forming for Tragic.
Yeah, small lead so far, but still no B cap between these two teams, which we're getting quite far into this matchup for there not being a B cap. Does look like we may potentially have a flip once again, but it is going to be a tick or two of points going over with the double cap to Tragic, who currently not only have the score lead, but I do believe they have a slight kill lead as well, which will put them most likely in favor of having more score streaks piled up for the second round. No surprise we have, Goliaths across the board, VTOLs on both stealth choppers, a lot of higher end score streaks, since obviously persistence is in play. So that is something to keep in mind, that in Season 5, persistence will be banned. So for Season 5, if you see a VTOL, someone worked their butt off and earned it.
Yep. And we do get a little bit of time on to the B flag, but Tragic's still not able to take control. One player waiting down bottom side. Leon trying to take him out. He's not able to make the shots happen, but Bolu's got an Annihilator in hand. He finds a nice 2-piece right there. Tribe getting a little bit more time over onto B, but the War Machine in the hands of Chaos will shut that down quickly. Space pulls out his Annihilator, finds a few here and there as well, and Tectonic able to take him out. That is going to be big for Tribe, as they're still looking to get some control right here. It looks like we may have a quick double cap coming in, with Tribe having 2 players over on A and nobody on the C site for Tragic for the time being. A-Flows is going to get shut down. Little B gets a big double feed right there. He's having a stronger game than we have seen him have in previous respawns, and it looks like the triple cap will actually go into play for Tribe. The slow start turning around in a big way. It looks like we will have Tragic retaking C right here, but the damage has been done as points now start to tick upwards for Tribe.
Yeah, but to be fair, this has been a pretty wild matchup that it took 3 whole minutes in the half to capture B for the first time. As Tribe do take a very, very slight lead here towards the end of this domination round. It was a slight lead for Tragic for quite a while. Tragic would get about halfway through B before they do end up losing out there. Bolu does have a couple score streaks ready. He's unable to get the kill, but the team is able to back him up there, and it looks like Tribe are going to go into the half with about a 9-point lead. So that is pretty good for them. They were able to massively step it up in the kill department as well. So what was looking really good for Tragic may end up being a way for Tribe to just run away with it, as we had a bunch of players who were struggling to get more than a couple kills on the board cross into double digits very quickly. I'm kind of surprised with the day that Marshy has had, that he's struggling down here with 5 kills at this point. We've seen him pretty much top fragging for the team all night. He does actually pick up the kill onto Space there. I don't think... Oh yeah, so on this screen... Yeah, Marshy, nothing exceptional in the cap department either, which, does explain why he's a bit behind in the score streaks, as He doesn't have a Predator missile online yet, but overall, Tribe, they are looking really good here for this matchup. Leon has all his score streaks lit and ready to go. Bolu, a kill away from his VTOL. Tectonic
4
away.
points away! Oh my gosh, he needs these 4 points. All he needs is for his teammate to get an assist for him right here. Like, that's all you need. He does finally get that assist, and that is definitely going to be an insta-call-in. No, it's not going to be an insta-call-in. I'm a little bit surprised, especially with how we tend to see a lot of these teams play with airspace. Lockout being a big factor in everything, that he hasn't called it in. Could potentially see it come into play right here, and it looks like we will, as the shots will begin to rain down. We already have Tribe in control of the double cap. He gets shot down pretty quickly, which is not too surprising to see, but with still a whole lot of operators in play for Tribe, the triple cap will go in, and it looks like they are very well on their way to a win in game number 3.
Yeah, and we still have score streaks available for them. We have stealth choppers on board. We have plenty of cluster strikes that are going to just really diffuse any attempt of flipping B over in Tragic favor. So again, this is kind of why Persistence is banned for Season 5, because, I mean, just it's really difficult with the amount of score streaks that Tribe have up and already have control of B. I mean, even though we have score streaks available on the side of Tragic, again, with cluster strike, before cluster strikes, I mean, you're locked out of a B cap for just an unreal amount of time. So Tribe very likely going to close out game 3 here and are going to sit themselves up in a great position to be on match point for this best out of 5. And I mean, I don't think it's possible for a miracle comeback here at this point, especially not with a triple feed going over to Tribe there. That triple cap lasted a long time in that second half.
Yeah, and Domination has always been that one game mode that Tribe just seems to be head and shoulders above everybody else. Their rotations, their strategy, everything else. Even though they looked a little bit slow off the start of that game, everything snowballed really quickly that one, and their bottom fragger was Little B, who went still positive. So whenever you got your bottom fragger going positive, typically that's going to be a pretty big indicator. Nobody really popping off over on Tragic. They're going to need to bounce back in Hardpoint, and so far, Tribe has not lost a respawn today. That's definitely a good sign for Tribe fans, and if you're Tragic, you got to figure something out. We know they're capable of winning in Search and Destroy, and that's where they would love to get to. But for that to happen, they've got to win this next Hardpoint matchup. We'll see if they're able to do it as we get ready to hop on over to Summit.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a pretty exciting matchup here for Summit. I mean, again, this map really pushes you not only in the gun skill department, but really sets you up to be in a position where, your rotations can have such a massive impact. In the first matchup that we had with Tribe tonight up against Nova Imperium, we obviously had a situation where on P4, if Nova Imperium would have won that gunfight, then it very well could have been I think at the time it would have been 100 points to 90 points, but just as it ticked over, Tribe were able to win that gunfight as they picked up the anchor for respawns, and that was able to get them an entire P4 just by how punishing the respawns can be on Summit. So definitely got to look for those rotations coming out of some players, and I mean, it really could just be a great matchup ahead of us between these two teams who have been neck and neck on every map so far tonight.
Yeah, regardless of the outcome, it's definitely going to be a good one. Just waiting on Tribe players to get readied up before we hop in. Obviously, Summit Hardpoint, one of those ones where spawn control is really crucial, especially when we start heading over to P3. So we'll likely see a lot of maybe early rotations, fights going on the backside, on the outside of the hard point, as both teams will be trying to fight for that. With neither team abiding by the GA, operators going to be a really big factor. Lots of annihilators, and more than likely we won't see as much of an issue with score streaks and persistence, because Summit Hardpoint just seems to be one of those matchups that typically ends either in the first 4 hard points or whenever you do make that rotation back to P1. But we'll see what these teams have in store for us as we are all ready to go for what could potentially be the final game in this first semifinal matchup.
What Purifier I see on Chaos?
I believe so. I believe it's a speed boost class if he's using the M16 though.
Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that. Which is super unfortunate because like historically I love the M16 even when it's not a meta weapon. I just love the handle of the gun. Specifically 3-burst M16, but you know, there's a time and a place for everything, and when you're playing a competitive game with money on the line, probably not the best idea.
Yep. We do have Tectonic finding a frag right there. He'll be able to shut down A-Flows as well, so trying to make this entry from bottom of control center. Chaos behind the head glitch, but it's not going to matter as Tectonic looking very, very good off the start, sliding into the hard point, getting some time on the hill for his team. So-so slides the corner, nearly had the frag. Tectonic down to 2 HP, but he's going to be able to regen. Just patrolling this
big
area.
Triple kill.
Wow, yeah, that's big for him as he struggled, especially in the respawns. Tectonic finds another one right there. We get the contest right here, but Leon finds A-Flows from behind, and Tribe continues to tick upward as it looks like they will have the lead as we move into P2.
Yeah, it does look to be the case, and Tribe, again, they were able to win the Summit Hardpoint matchup earlier against Nova Imperium. And Nova Imperium and Tragic are honestly very similar teams, in my opinion, as far as skill throughout the season and consistency. So definitely a big advantage for Tribe if they are able to win this one. I mean, you'd have to take that momentum and just be really strong with it going into the finals if they're able to win, which so far does look to be the case. They have a pretty sizable lead on the first 2 hardpoints, which again, for this map, do tend to be a little bit more back and forth than we have seen so far. Space does pick up a kill onto Marshy. So-so gets Bolu as well, but Tectonic is there to refrag. Space, however, is able to help clean things out. This has been a pretty intense gunfight we've had here back and forth. In the end of it, it is Tribe still picking up a little bit of the lead there. They sit about 40 points ahead of Tragic at this point, but we do have Lil B getting set up and ready to go on P3, and this could be really big for Tribe if they're able to close it out in a 3-1 win. Lil B finds one with the double rush around the corner. Space will pick up the kill. Fortunately for Lil B, Marshy is there, picks up the kill. We have Anchor for Tribe, and Tribe are just absolutely dominant here, moving from Domination into Hardpoint.
And we do have Leon with the Annihilator in hand, very nearly gets taken out. Little B has been so good with the HS-0405, which is a gun that we've almost never seen used in Mobile Mayhem, but with all the nerfs that we've seen to the KRM and the Buy 15, it's actually almost become meta just because of how bad the alternatives are. So we do see him finding big frags right there. 9 kills on the board for him as well as Leon. Tectonic with 10, and right now Tragic just not getting anything going. Chaos, A-Flows, and Beamed all down below 3 right now, and that's just never going to be a good sign, especially if you are in an elimination game.
Little B!
He's just he's a machine right now. He heard us talking about him in those first couple matchups where he was struggling, and he has absolutely turned it on. They could very well win this in the first 4 hard points, which, like we talked about, is something that we see a pretty good amount. Gets the Pred missile kill right there. Now just waiting for a player to come up through there, and with the thermite going out, that will slow down Chaos a little bit more. No need for him to peek that right there, and his teammates holding it down from the back angle. He's pretty content to chill on the point as 4 players moving up to double digits for Tribe. Nobody up there for Tragic, and it looks like, despite their top of the leaderboard placement in the most difficult division, this will be the end of the road as the veterans, Tribe Gaming, your stage 4 North American champions, are going to close this one out in a 3-1 victory, and they will be moving on to the finals on Thursday.
And that was really a big, solid rotation coming out of Tectonic and Lilby moving into P4. And it's exactly what we saw out of them in the matchup versus Nova Imperium. They took the hillside rotation. They were able to clean out. They were able to grab Anchor and team just at the right time. Kind of a repeat of our first matchup. That is Tribe now moving on into the finals with a 3-1 victory over Tragic. If you're Tragic, I don't think you're too upset at this point. This is your first season as a team. Tribe have been playing together with at least mostly this roster for 3-4 seasons now, at least.
Yeah, I think 4 seasons.
I think we've like had some minor changes between 3 and 4 seasons. Like Lilby, I know wasn't a starter for all time, but I can't complain with his performance here today. I mean he clutched up when the team needed him to. Had a phenomenal Summit Hardpoint game. And, again, excited to see them get to play in the finals. It's been a while since we've seen Tribe at the top, and they definitely have a big opportunity ahead of them right now.
Yeah. And to see them making it into the finals in a season where there's been a lot of iPad players, and knowing that moving into Season 5, we're probably going to have primarily phone players, they're going to be at that much more of an advantage. So this is absolutely going to be the team to watch. We've known this, especially for phone teams, looking at them in Stage 5. They absolutely destroyed the competition, went 12-0 on Championship Sunday, and it looks like they could very well be on their way to another championship. But in the meantime, we are getting our next matchup loaded in. As you guys see right here, it will be... Oh, that's not the right matchup. It will be NL Esports versus Fierce. And it's definitely going to be a good one. Once again, 2 very experienced teams. Fierce, a team that has come in second place a lot. But this season, they have just a different type of roster, and it has been causing issues. They were easily the #1 points in all of Mobile Mayhem, and they will absolutely be looking to make their way to the finals once again as they match up against NL, who is the reigning champions.
Yeah, and... again, NL have definitely been struggling all through this season. Historically, they do really well in the season and then struggle a bit more in finals. So I don't know how confident I am in NL right now, especially going up against an absolutely cracked Fierce roster. I mean, this Fierce team has been playing unbelievable all season long. I do believe there's no GA for this matchup, so I mean, we'll still be on Season 4 rules, as far as my knowledge goes, at least. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out for these guys. But I mean, again, Fierce just forming outstanding this season, and NL really kind of biting the bullet off a little bit short. And, again, this is the reigning champions that we just have not seen do well all season long, when previously it was the exact opposite. I mean, if they come through with a big performance here up against Fierce, I would honestly I'd be shocked at this point.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't really get much of a look at what this NL team is capable of in match #1 in the 4v5 that they played. So we'll see if they're able to bring their A game tonight. We do have Dante in play, and he had previously not been on the roster any longer. So for that to be a last-minute change, probably not ideal for them. As far as the lineup that we've got in play for Fierce right now, it's unless we see some changes, going to be different as well, as we do have Ayak making an appearance. One notable player that's not in there is going to be Shadow, who's typically been in... Oh, Shadow and Raballo, both out from the starting roster for Fierce. So the current starting roster: Forsaken, who is your MVP for Season 4 of Mobile Mayhem, at least as far as the player voting goes. Ayak, Sneaky, who is second place in Marksman of the Split, Renounce, and Main Mike.
Did we do we haven't done the player voted ones yet, have we?
No, we did the player voted ones. I don't think we did the fan voted.
Or yeah, we haven't done the fan voted ones. I mean, do you want to start us off with that one?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take this.
As long as we're waiting for players to get in, right? This is the last matchup of the night. Might as well.
Yes, sir. Oh, wow. Okay, so message from Zim. Fierce is the only undefeated team left in the league. First time in league history up to this point. So there's actually a lot on the line for them. Is a championship win would be record-setting to a certain extent.
Just to clarify, Zim, it's not undefeated on maps, just in series.
Yeah,
right?
I'm assuming he means on series.
Yeah, because I'm certain there were
series.
maps dropped.
Yep.
In series, okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. Just they're undefeated in Domination though. That is big. That is big.
I mean, if they're undefeated in series, then they'd have to be.
Yeah, because game 3, right? Yeah, no, I mean. But you know, for a best of 5 though, for a best of 5, that's definitely something to make note of, because we've seen obviously not the better half of NL this season. But I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into the community voted sniper of the split. We'll start at the bottom, and I think Tech definitely deserved this one today. He had a phenomenal sniper performance. He definitely earned himself a clip. So, you know, well done, Tech, there. Cheto did pick up second place, and while I did agree with the player voted one as well, I mean, I would definitely agree with what you said as well, Bobby, that we haven't seen Cheto really be a super breakout sniper this season, but we've at least seen him with some consistency. So you got to give him credit for that. And Swag actually coming
Fanny,
through for first place.
I think Fanny wants to say hi to stream real quick. Oh, I'm going to try not to hit your head on the table. You are so heavy. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. How much does she weigh now? Like 30, 35? Oh, my. Ow.
Make it look like she's playing.
Oh, do you want to play some video games? Yes. Oh, yes. I know, I've not seen you in so long. It's been like 2 hours. And she just wants to chew on my headphones.
It's been like 3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours. You big fluff ball? Hello?
Ask her a question and tell her to speak into the microphone.
Fanny, who is your favorite parent? Good answer, both.
Did she sniff into the
She did sniff it a little bit. Hello? Okay, you can go see Mama now.
Come here, baby. Sit. No.
Okay.
You can't leave.
Whew. That is a heavy dog. All right. Taking a look at our fan-voted rookie this... I mean, it's the same. There you go, chat. Riot's in third place, Lethal in second place, Resume in first place. I would say we all pretty much agreed with that one. As Resume made some really big plays for Strike Zone in his first appearance in Mobile Mayhem. MVP voting is very interesting. Forsaken coming in third place right there. So the player voted MVP coming in third. In second place, based on what I've seen in chat so far tonight, this one's not too surprising. We do see Space, who absolutely made some really big plays in Search and Destroy. And then in first place, also not too surprised to see, Tectonic, the MVP of Stage 4 of COD Mobile Championships, the top fragger for Tribe Gaming in a lot of these matchups, and definitely a phenomenal player. This is the fan voting, so keep in mind, a lot of this is just going to tend to be a popularity contest. Not too surprising to see Tech at the top, but also he is without a doubt one of the best players in all of Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, phenomenal players. We do have Dante once again with Infinex for tonight. So, I was looking at his name, so I saw the IFX. It's NL. So, I mean, again, not sure if they've worked everything out with him, or if he's just here for finals for the fun of it, or what's going on with that. I mean, I definitely think that Dante has been a phenomenal player. I mean, when we first saw him play, I mean, we had straight up mentioned how crazy it was that Infinex at the time had back-to-back seasons picked up just such a god-tier player, if we're going to be honest, in Tempo and Dante. I mean, again, Fierce have just been, I mean, they've just been above an A game at this point. I mean, it's consistent, strong plays coming out of them. Forsaken, obviously, been an absolutely just crazy player here all season. Sneaky, obviously, a reoccurring top 3 for marksman of the split. Main Mike, Renounce, both just phenomenal players that we see season to season. We haven't seen as much out of Ayak, so that is potentially a hindrance that NL could take advantage of. We will have to see if they're able to do so. We did get Dante back in the lobby, so we will get ready for our Crossfire matchup here to start for Hardpoint.
Yep, looks like we are good to go. Top side is going to go for Fierce, so we'll see if they're able to get that initial break on in. We do have Forsaken pushing with the trip mine over toward the point. Sneaky finds first blood onto Cheto. The battle of the snipers will begin. Forsaken, he's actually got the red dot on the ICR, which is not something we see a whole lot. Usually he's going to be able to win the gunfight. DRH in hand, pushes in right here. Main Mike on the bottom side. Cheto's able to take out Renounce and finds a two-piece onto Forsaken as well. Usually finds one for himself. It will be Mike sliding into the hard point with 2 kills. And just like that, Dante slides in for the retake. 3 kills for him off the start to lead all players, as we do have NL in control.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be a exciting matchup. I mean, so far NL have actually been playing, I mean, up against Fierce at least. I would say it's just perhaps some of the best we've seen them play all season, and we're just a couple seconds into the match, so we'll have to see how they carry that energy moving forward. Important to make note that Fierce is undefeated in Respawn as a whole for the season. The only matchups they've lost have been in Search and Destroy. So, I mean, that just to add on to their undefeated domination earlier and undefeated season is that they have not lost a hardpoint match either. So definitely important information moving into this. Will this be the first? Will NL be the team to take I mean, just absolutely scary team that Fierce have been all season? Will they be able to take them off of their Respawn greatness, I guess is the only way to put it. But so far, a very even game with NL picking up the points on the first hard point and Fierce with a strong opening on the second hard point. Dante will finally pick off Forsaken there, who was doing great with the ICR.
And Forsaken, your MVP for Season 4, top fragging currently with 7 kills on the board. I actually did not see the NL player behind him, but will be able to stay alive for the time being. Fierce getting full time on this hard point. A really good rotation for them and really good hold as well. We saw Sneaky spending a lot of time on the inside, and the sniper actually working shockingly well, holding down that top and bottom floor. We're going to see if Forsaken can get the push in, but Envoy shuts him down quickly. NL will be in control of P3 off the start, and with players in the surrounding area and no real hold points so far for Fierce, it's going to be difficult for them to make the push. But Forsaken putting down the smoke to minimize the impact of Cheto on that backside with the sniper. We'll see if he can find the pick right here. He does take out Cheto, getting shot from behind. He's kind of a one-man push right now, and with 3 players on the inside for ANL, that is just not going to end well. They will be able to hold this for full time, it looks like, and now it looks like NL is actually going to go ahead and start setting up for next 2.
Yeah, this is a phenomenally close matchup between these two teams, as we do have NL, as you mentioned, picking up some remaining points, as well as we're looking to get set up for next, but we did have a couple kills come through out of the side of Fierce there. Forsaken actually gets dropped by a beautiful Annihilator shot coming out of UG, but Ayak is there to clean up and knock UG off of that operator. Do have NL making their way back on over to the anchor that they had lost, but currently maintain lead. They do dodge out the Predator missile, so that's pretty big for them.
And Ayak gets a big feed with the Annihilator for himself, make it, I believe, a triple right there as he takes out Cheto, who immediately spawns in and takes out Forsaken. painful to see for him. I believe Ayak is the manager for this team, and he's currently up at 10, making 11 frags right now to lead all players. Having himself a game, he's sending out the smokes as he looks to get the break onto next as well. Sneaky clearing the way as he does take out to Tio, trying to find the frag onto Cheto, who's not able to land his first shot.
Ooh.
He is able to land the follow-up, and now 10 kills on the board for him as NL is set up to take control of P5.
Yeah, it's certainly odd seeing the manager for the team come in and top frag so phenomenally. But I mean, more power to him. He really stepped up for the team here when they need a sub. They are once again in the lead over NL, which I mean, again, is kind of where we expected them to be based off of their season. But man, Ayak absolutely killing it over here on the side of Fierce. So you'd love to see it. You know, unfortunately, they had to play with a sub, but he's carrying his own weight.
Yeah, we do have Renounce pulling out the Annihilator. He needs to get good value out of this to try to get the break right here. He shuts down to Tio. He's going to slide in. Won't be able to take out Envoy right there, but Mike sliding down gets a frag. That's going to be big. NL still hasn't been able to take the lead, and time is dwindling. The advantage that they had in holding this P5.
It's a tie game if they hold this.
Yeah, exactly. And that means we're basically heading back to a 30-point reset on P1. And it is going to be an absolute storm as all the score streaks are going to start to come in. Mike slides in. He gets the frag for himself and is going to try to hold it down. But for the time being, it is just an absolute mess as we expected. Cluster strikes on the way in for both teams. Nobody wants to give up any time on the hill. We'll probably see some Pred missiles as well as some operators. We do have Fierce getting a little bit of time, but Yuji calls in a Pred missile, and it is still Fierce on the hill, but just like that, Shadow's able to take out Ayak. A couple more seconds will go in. Mike trying to stay alive. He won't be able to do it. Yuji on the point, getting some
There's
time for
that they could win.
I mean, this has been so back and forth right now. We really do need a contest for Fierce right here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it.
And Cheto has just been absolutely popping off the sniper here. Finds himself not really a quad feed, but I mean, I think he's gotten like 6 or 7 kills right in this spot without moving. So picks up a third and a fourth for his feed there with the Hunter Killer and the car explosion.
It's Ayak! It's Ayak! He's able to keep the game alive. He slides in, gets the contest for just long enough. Fierce is set up on the top. They've got 3 players up there. They are in perfect position to take the win. Forsaken's got an advanced UAV. Even though we see the cluster strike on the way in, it's not really going to do anything. And it may have been Ayak with the game-saving play if they're able to make it happen right here. The cluster strikes are all around. NL was only 2 seconds away, but the team manager, Ayak, regardless of what the points were, no doubt the MVP of that game, as Fierce comes out 150 to 48. 150 to 148.
For the manager to sub in here and have such a phenomenal game, not only in the kill department, but being the person to get on point in the last 2 seconds to stall, even though he died, that does not matter. He stalled out the point. The team was set up on next. They had score streaks available. I think main Mike pulled off, I think he got a double kill with a cluster and a kill with a Pred on that last push. So really delayed them, and they were able to come through with a win here. Still undefeated in Hardpoint. So big win coming out of Fierce there. It was really starting to look like that was the game that NL was going to be able to knock off their win streak.
I can't believe he was able to not only get the kill, but get the contest for, like, nobody was able to get anywhere close to there, and somehow he was able. I want to watch the replay for that. I don't even know where he came from right there, because it seemed like there were so many cluster strikes, so many Pred missiles, so many Annihilators, and he just managed to sneak his way in there and save the game for Fierce in game number 1. And for a team that is undefeated in Respawn, that is a really good sign for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Fierce are the undefeated team in the league. which, as far as we can tell, has never happened at this point in Mobile Mayhem. So that is something they are certainly looking to keep moving forward. Obviously, if they're able to win this, they'll have to go up against Tribe in the finals. And with the way Tribe have been playing, that is not an exciting situation to be in for any team. But at the same time, I mean, the way Fierce has been playing, I'm sure you're not super excited if you're Tribe. So definitely a lot of opportunity for both of the teams as we do get into Search and Destroy. This is typically where NL have been stronger, and where Fierce has been weaker. So if NL is going to have a chance to keep the momentum that they had off of the first one, this is a great time to do it, because I mean, again, it's a lot of this is going to be for a best of 5, the mental game, right? I mean, you lost first matchup by 2 points in Hardpoint. You definitely have to be able to have the energy and the mindset to bounce back off of that and put your best forward for the second round. So far, they've been able to do so. They've got a 2-for-1 trade, UG for Sneaky and Ayak. Dante, what a shot onto Forsaken there. Oh my goodness.
He cooked him right there. That was a thing of beauty. Mike's not going to let it happen again, though. We do have a 2v3, and we do have Mike getting spotted by Envoy. Cheto takes out Renounce. NL with a really just well-performed round number 1. Looking really good. You love to see Cheto making those big plays off the start. We saw him top fragging for the team with the sniper in game number 1 of Respawn as well. That's always going to be a good sign as you head into the Search and Destroy. We'll see if you can find another one right here. We do have a player on the outside of Wood, but won't be able to spot him quite yet. Trades come in as Ayak finds a frag for himself. And now 4 players remain for each team. Cheto hopping up top to try to find another. And as we say that, another player drops off for Fierce. NL taking the man lead. And Cheto able to pick up an AR as well as they look to make the push over toward the A site. Envoy with the bomb in hand, 3 kills on the board for him already through the first 2 rounds. Definitely a strong start, and they're going to spot a sniper across mid. I think that was a sniper. That may have actually been Renounce peeking mid, which you don't typically want your AR players to do, especially with 2 snipers still in play on the other side. Infinix, NL, I mean, playing pretty slow right here, but it's paying off for them as usually finds the frag onto Renounce, and now it's all on to Sneaky and Mike as they're going to need to find picks right here to try to slow down the push, but it's not going to happen. Usually finds the 2-piece, and NL takes the 2-0 lead off the start.
Yeah, and, you know, again, if you were going to give NL an advantage going into this matchup, I mean, at any point throughout the season, like if you were going to look at these 2 teams head-to-head and wonder where they were going to have the advantage, it's going to be in Search and Destroy all day long. So the fact that they were able to pull that close after having such a bad season and Hardpoint is really big for them. And again, this goes to show a lot of the mindset for them as well. They were able to bounce back on what was honestly just, at the point they were at, I couldn't believe they lost. I mean, Ayak absolutely just came through like an absolute legend and saved that game. So, you know, for them to be able to bounce back off of what was such just a tragic loss is really big for the mental game, and I think that shows just how strong the reigning champions can be despite having such a rough season.
Yep. No first blood, 50 seconds into the round. We see Cheto now getting a little bit aggressive right here, trying to challenge Renounce. He's going to pull out the nade and reposition. It's nobody trying to overpeak, and the longer this goes on, the more advantage Fierce has. Is they got a little over-aggressive in those first couple of rounds, and now adjusting their strategy. I don't know how Cheto hit that shot. I know how he hit the second shot. The second shot is just because he's goated. But how he hit the first one is still a mystery to me. He's going to pick up the AR, get the frag onto Forsaken as well. Ayak going to be all by himself, but if there's anybody that can make this happen, it's going to be the legend Ayak. He doesn't spot Tio on the backside. And without that information, he's going for the ninja defuse. Oh my gosh, no way.
Oh, Cheto heard it.
Cheto heard it right there. If he hadn't been inside trailer, we could have had a legend play right there, but Ayak not able to make it happen 2 games in a row it will be a 3-0 lead for NL.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy ninja defuse. Specifically as Cheto was looking through the doorway, and then the second he turned away, here comes Ayak barreling through, didn't check the doorway, went for the defuse. So
that was a ballsy move. I'll give him that one.
Ooh, Dante, what a shot! I'm glad I flicked that at just the right time. That was a beautiful shot from Dante. He finds another on the main mic as well. Dante, a really key player here for Infinix or NL today. It's so hard when I'm looking at his name not to say Infinix.
Yep. We do have Sneaky finding the quick scope onto Envoy, but probably got some pressure on. The A plant does go in. He's gonna need to find a couple picks right here to make this manageable, especially without an AR in hand. He's actually sliding over at the perfect time, but he can't land the shot onto Cheto. With that miss, basically secured his fate. And now a 4-0 lead for NL. Obviously, Search and Destroy is the one mode that Fierce has lost in so far this season. But for them to be down 4-0 off the start is really surprising to see, especially given how close game number 1 is. They're going to need to turn things around and at least put up a fight in these Search and Destroy games if they're going to be able to maintain this lead. We'll see if they can do that right here. As once again, we see them playing very passive. Sneaky just has not really been himself so far. Only 1 kill through 5 rounds of Search and Destroy, and just playing very, very passive, almost scared of the snipers on the other team, which is typically not the way you want your team to be playing.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, again, even though I give the advantage to NL for this matchup, I absolutely didn't expect it to be a 4, potentially 5-0 lead that they would have if they're able to win this round. Obviously, there's still a lot of this round left, but right now it's a 5 versus 5 with bomb planted, which means the side of Fierce need to fight against the clock, and it's a 2-for-1 trade so far. Make that a 3-for-1. Cheto picks up main mic. Ayak, the man, the myth, the legend, basically the Zim of Fierce, is going to pick up the kill there. Now, 3 versus 2, 20 seconds on the board, and that is going to be a 5-0 lead for the side of NL. This is still anybody's game. Obviously, in Search and Destroy, we've seen comebacks of this nature, especially with it being round 6 now. The sides have switched. It does give a little bit of a change of game plan. And so far, this is 2 smokes up middle to prevent Dante and Cheto from picking up the kills. 2-for-2 trade between these two teams. Infinix would love to close out a 6-0 victory here after the just unfortunate loss that they had in round 1. Main mic does get hit markered. Renounce will drop. It's now a 2 versus 2. Cheto and Yuji, 2 players who've been massively popping off. It's now a 1 versus 1, and Cheto once again hit markers. Mike is absolutely just so lucky to even be alive right now. That is insanity.
He is the man of steel. Nothing can touch him, and
his booty's clenched, gonna get markered twice for sure.
Yeah, usually trying to overlook from top wood. Mike actually making the rotation from behind. Not going to check the right angles. That's going to end up costing him right there. It's going to be a 6-0 win for NL in Search and Destroy. And I expected for NL to be stronger than they had been in the regular season, following how good they were in that first game of Hardpoint. But for them to 6-0 a team that has not lost a series, really surprising to see, and just really nothing going right. Renounce going 0-6. Renounce, obviously not the MVP for the team, but a really solid player. Forsaken, MVP of the league, going 2-6. Sneaky, close to Sniper of the Split, going 3-6. The legend Ayak 3-6. Main mic top frag at 4-6, and usually just having a field day, going 10-1 right there. And with that, NL fans have got to be feeling really, really confident.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the best games of Search and Destroy we've ever seen this team play. I mean, they've always been a little stronger in Search and Destroy, but I mean, to come through in 6-0 Fierce. I mean, this is not the NL that we've seen all season long, Bobby.
Yeah, and I guess they just decided to show up at the perfect time. We'll see if they can continue to bring that. Keep in mind, this is a Fierce team that has not lost a map of Domination. They haven't lost a map of Hardpoint either. Largely
Still haven't lost Hardpoint.
Yeah, largely in part due to the miraculous plays of the one and only Ayak. We are getting ready to hop into map number 3, which is going to be Domination Standoff. Definitely a unique Domination map just because you do have 2 of the main buildings overlooking that B flag. Somewhat similar to what you have in firing range, but just a little bit more of a condensed map. So we'll see how that ends up playing out as we are waiting for our players to ready up. Admins, just a heads up, we have not switched the mode and maps, so we should probably change those. Oh, is them saying don't start the map?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too. I was trying to figure that out.
Okay.
How crazy would it be if NL just came out of nowhere after having such a bad season?
Yeah. Apparently we do have a warning in play. So one of the spots that we saw, I believe it was Dante at the end of that, peeking in top wood is actually a glitch spot. But he has received a warning for using that, as likely he knows it's a glitch, but regardless, no actual penalty being distributed. But now he knows, don't do that, because it's against the rules. But we are good to go for game number 3. It is going to be Domination on Standoff.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost didn't I know what spot we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I've seen that spot used in the past, and I don't know if it ever got caught by other players. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't realize it.
Yep.
So.
And we are off to the races. So we hop into our game of Domination. For the most part, with the exception of the ending of our first game of Hardpoint, it seems like NL has really been in control today. They got a lot of players on the way to the B flag, and it looks like they'll be able to get the early cap. They actually do get knocked off as Renounce gets a 3-piece right there. That's going to be huge. Finds a frag as well. He's still alive over on A, but the Thermite on the way in will be a 2-piece from Titio, and we do have NL making their way back toward that mid area. Forsaken gets a 2-piece with the FHJ. That's going to be really big for them, as that will eliminate any push coming in. And he's now trying to hold down this back alley. The FHJ will get him another kill. And even though they're not quite able to get that B flag, pretty good progress off the start for this Fierce team, as Ayak, Renounce, and Forsaken currently are already combining for 12.
Yeah, I mean, what a start coming out of these guys here. Dante finds another double for himself. Big numbers coming out of the board for a couple of these players over on the side of NL. Titio actually stepping it up. Kind of had some middling performances today, but you know, doing well here at the start of Domination. And again, so far Fierce are undefeated in Domination / Respawn as a whole. So it would be absolutely huge for NL if they were able to pick up a win here, and probably pretty demoralizing as well. So that would really, if they were able to win this matchup, would put a bit of baggage on the side of Fierce in seeing how their mental game is able to bounce back. I mean, again, it was huge for NL to take such that defeating loss in Hardpoint and then bounce back to 6-0 Fierce in Search and Destroy. So I mean, that'd be an exciting push on the mental game of Fierce as well.
Yeah, we saw the B cap coming in for NL. They're able to hold it for the time being. A lot of progress out for Fierce, but They are going to get knocked off. Forsaken finds 8 kills, make it 9. He's going to be able to regen right there. Trying to control this back area, but he can only hold off so many people at a time, and his teammates just not able to make the push, as we do have NL continuing to stack points. Yuji actually pulling out the shotgun, which we haven't seen used a whole lot. We saw it in the hands of Little B in game number 1, or I guess game number 3.
We've seen Yuji use the shotgun today.
Oh, have we?
Absolutely, yeah.
In which matchup?
Against, I guess it was against Violent. So.
Okay.
That was kind of a weird matchup in the first place. So I don't think we put too much work on it, but.
And we actually have a triple cap for the time being. Obviously, Fierce able to flip and get C right here, but right now, not a whole lot going Fierce's way, as they just seem to be struggling to win those gunfights, and NL seems to have all the right counters. Mike pulls out the Annihilator, maybe a little bit early to pull it out. If they can potentially get some time on the hill, if they get the B flag, it'll be big, and they're able to do it. But with NL already at 70 points, you got to wonder whether or not that decision is going to end up being worthwhile. Tatio finds a frag on the backside. Actually, I think gets yoinked by his teammates, and Yuji just filling up the feed with that shotgun right now. 14 kills for him. Tatio with 17 at the end of the half. And those persistent score streaks are about to start raining in real soon here.
Yeah, absolutely could. And I mean, again, this is this is a really big matchup between NL and Fierce, specifically for if NL are able to keep this lead going and pick up a win. I mean, again, this would really be a big stress on the mental game of Fierce if they were going to lose their first domination match in the semifinals. But right now, I mean, Tatio, 18 kills on the board. Yuji, 14 kills. Make that 15. Dante with 13 as well. This has been such a good matchup for NL, and it looks like that was great Pred missile timing. Or cluster strike timing, I mean, coming out of side of, why am I drawing a blank here on these names so hard right now? Fierce. Main Mike, 17 kills top fragging for the side of Fierce. Definitely a big struggle. And we have a lot of B-cap progress for the side of NL right now. It's only going to take a couple kills for them to be able to bounce on over. There it is right there. They find 3. They get over. They get the B-cap secured. If this keeps up, this is looking like this could be the first domination loss for Fierce here in the season.
Yeah, they're going to need to turn something around soon, and based on the kill count that we're seeing right now and the fact that we know a lot of these players are using persistence, it's going to be really difficult for them to make it happen. Tatio already used his advanced UAV. He hasn't used his cluster strike yet. Usually he's got a Pred missile on deck. Dante with full streaks right now. Cluster strikes will go in. Oh, we're actually going to see a B-cap come in. I'm shocked that we saw that happen with this many cluster strikes in play for NL. Typically, whenever you have those, the team will just typically lock out the B flag as a whole, and for some reason
5 people died at the same time.
Well, that'll do
probably didn't have a lot of opportunity to call it in. We did see it come through out of Dante there. Unfortunately, it was a bit late. So that is a B-cap that went over to the side of Fierce. They are in the realm that they don't need a triple cap. I mean, they actually have quite a bit of cushion, so that won't be entirely necessary. Sneaky with a big triple kill.
The quad. It's actually a quad right there as he takes out the last person trying to push for C. He's going to get a triple with the Pred missile. That's going to be huge. And Fierce looking like they're in complete control right now. They could not get anything to go their way. For some reason, Sneaky decides to throw his Hunter Killer into a wall, but Forsaken's actually got a VTOL that he could throw up very soon if he feels like it. They've got a triple cap. Forsaken's got a VTOL on deck. The triple cap is in play. There's a Goliath on the way in for NL, but it may be too little too late. The VTOL goes in. They're not able to get C. They're going to try to shoot it down. I think they're able to get the VTOL out of the sky, but the Goliath gets shut down by... I don't know who it got shut down by. Did he? I think he suicided.
I did miss it, but we now have a Goliath out for a renounce. Is still quite healthy, but
the Annihilator on the way.
Yeah. B-cap did go back over to the side of NL. The C-cap does get stopped. Main Mike able to pick up the kill when the team needed him. And we are in triple cap territory for the side of NL now. And this has so far been just a great comeback from the side of Fierce.
Yeah, and Renounce, who really hasn't had a great game, able to hop into that Goliath, and once he was able to get to top blue, there wasn't really a whole lot NL was going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to touch him down here, not going to be able to make their way on over to A, and that will be Fierce taking the win in game number 3. They remain undefeated in respawn game modes, and they are now one map away from moving on to the finals versus Tribe Gaming. With that being said, this has not been an easy road. NL has put up a really good fight, and up until probably the second half of that second half, it looked like NL was going to move up to a 2-1 lead and steal away the first respawn from this Fierce team. So
it was really looking like it for a while. I mean, it was really not looking good for Fierce, and then all of a sudden round 2 came around and they just kicked it into high gear. Specifically, Main Mike and Forsaken. Sneaky was doing pretty decent in the first half, but I mean, Main Mike finished that out 25 kills, Forsaken 24 kills. We weren't super far behind on the side of NL. Just again, strong second half for the side of Fierce. I mean, across the board, solid play out of both of these teams. Renounce definitely struggling a bit here today, but man, let me tell you, Ayak, team manager, not a starting player for the lineup, really filled some big shoes here today. I mean, when you think about the fact that he's here over Shadow and Raballo, the fact that he's coming through with such a strong performance is honestly just game saving for the side of Fierce right now.
Yep. And we are getting our players readied up to hop in to game number 4, which is going to be Hardpoint Crash. Definitely not anything new to any of these players, as this is probably the most regular Hardpoint map that we played throughout the season. It looks like we may have one player restarting devices. I don't think we're allowing substitutions mid-game, at least for this season. So we'll wait for one Fierce player to get loaded back in. Before we hop in to game number 4, I don't know if we mentioned this, but as far as weapon bans go, Fierce's weapon ban was the HVK and NL's was the ASM-10. So that is the reason that you do not see any of those guns in play as of right now. And I need to grab some water.
I'm going to take that time to go get some water as well. Been sipping on some energy drink, and my mouth's pretty dry. So.
And we've got our players readied up, just waiting for Day to get back, and we should be good to go. For game number 4, I apologize, my voice is currently disappearing as I've been talking for the last 3 hours, and I also talked for 4 straight hours this morning. But regardless, the finals, with whoever wins this matchup, the finals on Thursday night are going to be an absolute blast to watch with $2,500 on the line. That much more reason for every single one of these teams to give it everything that they can, and for a lot of these guys, that could be a game changer. It could allow them to, whether that would be get a new device, upgrade their content creation, or whatever it would be. Excited to see the scene continue to evolve as we get more and more supporters. Big shout out, as always, to Trovo for sponsoring Mobile Mayhem. They have been one of the biggest factors in the growth of the competitive scene for Call of Duty Mobile, and excited to continue to see it grow. And hopefully Day will be back soon, and we'll be good to go to hop into game number 4.
Yeah, I'm back.
There we go.
Yep, should be an exciting one. I mean, if I was gonna bet at this point, even as well as NL have been playing, I have to give a little bit of an edge still over to the side of Fierce. Just because, again, they, to this point, are still undefeated in Respawn. So even though that first matchup of Hardpoint was incredibly close between these two teams, Fierce still won. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if it was by 2 points, doesn't matter if it was by 150. They won, so undefeated. Moving into this next Hardpoint match on, again, one of the more common Hardpoint maps. I would definitely have to give them the edge here as well, but NL could surprise me. They could push us to a Game 5. They've been playing really well today. I mean, they've been playing better today than they have all season.
Yeah.
So, I can't complain.
The battle for 3-story ensues. Not really a whole lot of push off the start for NL, as they're content to sit back and try to get picks right there. Forsaken is able to take Dante off the point. Gets pushed from top side to Tio, able to get the trade for his teammate, and now setting down the trip mine is what was the slow, patient push for NL ends up paying off, and they're able to get that initial time on the hill as well, 12 seconds for the time being. Trying to make sure they don't overextend and give up control of that 3-story, is Tio currently just patrolling the top side. We do have Renounce and Forsaken pushing from opposite ends. Forsaken picks up kill number 3, shuts down Envoy there as well, takes out Shadow. What a feed for him, and Tio's not going to spot him from the top side. Some time coming in for Fierce on the point, and more frags. Looked like they were on the way for Forsaken, who has 5 kills, but gets shut down quickly by Envoy. Usually finds the frag onto Mike, and pretty even heading into P2.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these teams have been performing exceptional today, and absolutely no break here coming out of Infinex. I mean, this is a team, when they first came out, we knew had the potential to be good, but struggled with the consistency at the very beginning through the middle of Season 2, and from there it was every week, every day we saw improvements out of them. Coming up into Season 4, struggled a massive amount. So for them to be going up toe-to-toe in Respawn against, you know, the team that's undefeated in Respawn, is really the reigning champs we would have expected and hoped to see earlier in the season. But ultimately, they are here. They are in the semis. They still absolutely have a chance, despite being down a matchup, to potentially be the champions again. So we'll have to see if they're able to bring it forward. Obviously, a lot of potential still. Forsaken picks up 1, but does get dropped by Envoy there. Main Mike does find the return frag, but right now it's NL with a 60-point lead. They had a massive lead, at least comparatively, for Domination in the last matchup, and a big comeback was able to come through coming out of the side of Fierce. If NL are able to close out a win here, this could push us to a Game 5, and I can't think of a more exciting way to finish out our semifinals, so I'm happy with it. I dig it.
Yep. And even with the lead being what it is, we are going to see Fierce hopping back on the point. If they're able to get full time right here, they can bring things pretty close, but we have Infinex just keeps on peeking in. They'll get a contest here and there. They'll find a frag every once in a while, and they're able to minimize the impact of Fierce's control right here. Renounce, 10 kills right now. We actually saw a beautiful flick by him where he got the initial frag and then turned cross-map the player back alley. And that allowed him to kind of maintain the streak that he's on, but usually he's going to slide the corner just like that. NL back in the driver's seat as they are now ready, set up for P4, and this is not going to be an easy break for a Fierce team that is already down by 30 points, and With the smokes going out, they should have some cover to try to apply some pressure right here. Forsaken going to hop up, using the ladder to get to the top of this area, trying to avoid the Annihilator shots, and could have easily had an angle onto Yuji down below. Won't be able to spot him right there. However, they are able to get all Infinix, aka NL players, taken out of the surrounding area. And it will be Titio hopping. Oh, I was wrong. Titio's on the point. He's got an Annihilator.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a phenomenally good game coming out of Infinix here. We do have a rotation coming out of Fierce over towards P5. We have players setting up on P5, however, for the side of Fierce, so we'll have to see if they're able to hold that one down. I mean, because at this point, it doesn't matter if Fierce holds this entire next hardpoint. P5 could go all the way over to them, and they would just barely tie. So definitely a rough spot to be in if you are, I mean, again, an undefeated respawn team going up against a team that has struggled to even stay comfortably in top 3. So definitely have to give NL the credit that they have for stepping up here today. They are now 33 points away from potentially taking Fierce's first respawn victory away from them. But with main Mike here up in top, oh, he pre-fires and it does miss the shots. This is an opportunity. Titio finds him. Can Titio pick up the other? Titio gets the kill on Renounce as well. Sneaky is on his way up. He does get the kill. That is a massive break for the side of Fierce. There we have Dante making the rotation over. Sneaky's gonna find it, but Yuji rotating up behind will likely pick up the remainder of this hardpoint. And just like that, we almost had a glorious comeback coming out of Fierce there. But it's now NL team that is just 15 points away from victory as we loop back around to first hardpoint.
And the one and only Ayak pulling out his Annihilator, finds a 2-piece right there, make it a 3-piece, and Void drops. He's pushing on to the point. I think I saw somebody flying across the map right there, not entirely sure what that was. He's not going to be able to land the shot onto Cheto. Gets a couple seconds on the hill, but just like that, Yuji's going to hop on for some time himself, and with the cluster strikes, the Pred missiles raining in, I don't think there's any way that Fierce wins this one.
Yuji!
That was just a filthy drop shot right there, and that will 100% secure the round, make it the game win for NL. The first respawn map that Fierce has dropped all season long. Yuji making huge plays on the inside of that hard point. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to game number 5.
And game number 5 is Search and Destroy, which the last Search and Destroy matchup between these two teams on firing range was a 6-0 victory for NL. So if Fierce want to win it, they have to put the Search and Destroy effort in here, because that was not a fun loss to watch for them. I mean, that was round after round convincing NL wins. I mean, I think there was maybe 2 rounds, if I remember correctly, that were like a 2 versus 1 or a 1 versus 1 finish. But it was quite often like a 3 versus 1 that just went in favor of NL over and over again. So all convincing wins for Search and Destroy. Meltdown obviously plays a lot different than firing range. So that is something that we have to make note of moving forward. But, I mean, honestly, I'm shocked we're at a Game 5 here with NL. I mean, again, they're the reigning champions, but they just have not given me a reason this season to think that they could push Fierce this hard. So it would be a massive upset for this to go in NL's favor in Game 5. At least, again, with the history of Season 4 leading up till today. And man, Fierce, to come through with such a strong season, I mean, it would be rough to see him drop here. I mean, I hate to see either of these teams drop. This could have absolutely been a finals matchup if you ask me, but, you know, this is the way the cookie crumbles. One team has to lose.
Yep. It looks like all of our players are readied up, ladies and gentlemen. We're good to go for game number 5, and it is going to be a good one. I would love to see, I mean, I think everybody would love to see a better effort out of Fierce than we saw in our first Search and Destroy, because
the bar is not set very high.
I mean, yeah, getting 6-0
set really low.
Your top fragger had 4 kills. You had 1 player that didn't get a single kill. Just not a great spot to be for them. We'll see if they can turn it around. Sneaky struggles were a big factor for it, but you can't really put it on one player when everybody on the team is going negative by a significant margin. So we'll see if they can turn things around and if they've got the strats to make it happen. We do have Envoy playing pretty passive off the start with the bomb, as it looks like NL is going to play for picks off the start. Nobody's spotted quite yet. Concussion nades going out. Mike's actually got the shotgun in hand, which is not something we've seen a whole lot from him recently. And that's part of the reason why hit marker's the first one, but hits the follow-up on to Yuji. He's got a sniper, tries to slide the corner, not able to make the first shot happen, but he's got both weapons to work with now, the short range and the long range, and he can be an absolute weapon with the sniper in hand.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Mike do both and do both effectively. So, despite getting the hit marker on UG, he was able to pick up the first kill of the game. Excuse me. And minute on the clock right now. We do have, a massively wide rotation actually coming out of both teams. So, it's looking like Envoy is kind of stuck in a rough spot. So, I mean, he's very, very separated from his team right now. And he has the bomb. So unfortunately, his team have had B locked down this entire time. He's just now able to, or choosing to make the rotation over. And unfortunately for him, so is the entire team of Fierce. How did that miss? Like, if we're going to be honest, how did that miss?
I think there was a glitched hitbox right there. I think it registered that he hit the gas tank right there.
Yeah.
Instead of the player, and just really unfortunate for Mike is that cost him in a big way. Fortunately for him, his teammates seem to have things under control as Ayek, the one, the only, picks up the kill to close things out. They get the defuse, and Fierce goes up to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and we're already doing better.
Yep.
If you're Fierce, you're
literally doing infinitely better than your first game of Search and Destroy.
Yeah, so good opening round here for Fierce after losing their first respawn matchup. Tatio with a nade from the heavens finds Forsaken. Dante finds the legend Ayak. He actually finds main Mike and Renouts as well. 23-second round coming out of Infinix or NL here, so big answer back from them. I'm glad that we're here at a Game 5 between these two teams. I'm glad that Fierce are finally showing up to a Search and Destroy match. Or at least in round 1 they did.
In round 1.
There's obviously a lot of rounds ahead of us, but I would absolutely love to see this go to a Game 11. And we'll just have to see how that ends up playing out. We do have a aggressive bomb push coming out. Tio with the bomb this time is going to get the plant. Does plant it on... Let's plant it on the respawn side or the spawn side of Fierce, so we will have to keep that in mind for bomb watching angles. Does look like Fierce are making the full backside rotation coming out of the side of spawn side of NL. I believe that nade did not get a hit marker, so I don't know if they really know the callouts there, but Tio's here, he's ready to go, he finds one, does get dropped by Renounce.
And Mike is on the top of generator. He's not able to land the first shot onto Dante. Gets found by Envoy. There's only 2 players remaining. Forsaken's all by himself. He's not able to make it happen right there. Back-to-back rounds are going to go on over to NL. And it looked like Fierce had the composure to kind of regroup and go for the retake together right there. But it just didn't pan out, as we saw NL was perfectly situated and really Fierce just didn't know where to look right there. They're going to need a stronger attempt here if they're going to be able to make it happen. Is that just fell apart so very quickly, as we saw happen in round number 2 as well. Mike, however,
the big kill.
That's the start that we saw from them in the first round that they won. Mike getting the opening frag We do have a couple players dropping, but 3 players still alive for Fierce. They get another frag right there. Ayak, no surprise, with the final kill of the round once again. And just like that, we're tied back up at 2-2.
Yeah, and Fierce doing infinitely better ×2 than they did in the first matchup. Ayak with a big performance. 4 kills on the board to lead all players. Well, that's unique. Everybody on the side of NL has 3 kills. So that is, I mean, big for at least team-wide consistency. Nade does come out of Dante there, does not find anything. Might be able to find a kill here if he's able to pick that one up. Tatio is actually going to get the kill, but an assist going over to Dante. Ayak finds Yuji, extending his carry for the team.
And I don't really like that play for Mike. I do appreciate that Fierce has been going for a little bit of a stronger defensive push on the B side, knowing that NL is going to push it. But there's no real need for him to try to push that. And instead, if he had just hopped to back of generators, could have regrouped with his team, they would have been at a one-man advantage because Ayak was able to find a big frag right there. But now, as a result, 3 players remaining for each team. You do have NL in one solid group together. It looks like they're actually going to make the rotation all the way over toward A, and Forsaken's actually waiting for them, but not on the right side. So we'll see how this one ends up playing out. More than likely going to get spotted from that right side. He hasn't been spotted quite yet. And NL playing pretty patiently. Tatio very nearly gets taken out by the trip mine, which he's trying to shoot out. He's going to be forced to reposition so that he can regen right here. Now only 28 seconds to work with. Trades come in for both teams. Envoy trying to land shots right here. They're now going for the reposition all the way over to B. They barely got enough time to get the plant. If there's any type of attempted retake right here for this Fierce team, they could potentially cause some issues. It looks like they will be able to get the plant down, and they will be at the advantage. They're going to get spotted from the backside, I believe, by Forsaken. He's able to get the first kill. He's getting shots onto Tatio. Sneaky's going to slide in. Tatio with the shotgun. What a shot. How is he able to make that happen? And Forsaken knows he can't get too close. Otherwise, he's going to get shotgunned in the face. Forsaken's got to try to take the wide angle, see if he can take him out right here. He doesn't know how to push it. Tatio's ready for him. Clutches the 1v2, and NL retakes the lead at 3-2.
I'm so glad this is the final matchup of the night.
So good.
Not because I'm ready for it to be over, but just because of how exciting this is. Just to, you know, again, have Fierce show up, because in the first search and destroy matchup on firing range, it's never fun to watch a 6-0, right? Like, even if the plays are exciting, you don't want to see it be that staggeringly one-sided. So I'm glad Fierce is showing up here. They've got some really exciting plays that they've had pick up. Ayak playing crazy. I mean, what?
He's cracked out of his mind. And he gets the trip mine kill on Shadow. Ayak is the MVP. I don't care who wins. I don't care who wins the entire, like, freaking tournament. Ayak is my MVP, and I'm not changing my mind. Mike gets the frag with the shotgun. No surprise there. Tatio and Envoy still alive. Tatio will be able to get the major assist. He's trying to get the plays, but it's going to be Envoy all by himself versus the 2 remaining players. The shotgun in the hands of Mike says not today. And just like that, we are tied back up at 3-3.
Yeah, and just to really point out how we got here, we need to jump back to Hardpoint on Crossfire. Ayak saved the game by 2 points.
Yep.
And we're in game 5 at this point. So if Ayak didn't make the play he made in game 1, we're not here for game 5 at this point. And Ayak top fragging in the game, tied with Tatio right now, 7 kills on the board. This has been a huge performance that you normally would not expect out of a manager that isn't Zim. So
true. And Mike's got the positioning right now. He could very easily get another frag with that shotgun in hand, just waiting for Yuji to make the push right there. And all he's got to do at this point is just wait. Hits the first couple shots, hit markers. He is going to get taken out, but it's going to be Tatio all by himself. He does get the first frag onto Sneaky, making another 2-piece. He gets another 1v2 right there, and this man is pulling out all the stops to keep his team alive. He's got 11 kills on the board, 2 1v2s, and NL retakes the lead at 4-3.
Yeah, Tio stepping up big when the team needs him most. I mean, and it's not that the rest of the team is doing bad, but for an even matchup here, for Tio to have 11 kills on the board is definitely one of the reasons that it is in favor of NL at this point, despite being closer. I mean, again, this is 3 rounds more than Fierce won in the first Search and Destroy matchup. So I mean, this matchup on firing range was over a whole round ago, and we still have potentially another 4 rounds ahead of us, including this one. So
yeah,
we'll have to see how that goes.
Yep, and it looks like it is going to be another B push for Fierce. They've had success getting the plant down. It's been all about the retakes, which have just seemed to be going time and time again over toward NL. As Tio, the man, the legend, has been carrying his team. Trades come in. Ayak, no surprise, finds a frag right there. 9 kills for him. Manager who? Titio's on the top side trying to land shots onto Renout. Sneaky says not today. Trades come in once again. Cheto and Envoy all by themselves. Cheto ends up hit marking onto top generator. Sneaky miraculously stays alive. Forsaken's gonna spot him from the backside, and just like that, we are tied back up at 4-4.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see this go to a game 11. I don't want either of these teams to win the next 2, but I want game 11. Round 5 finish between these 2 teams. I want the team to earn it. We gotta have the best possible matchup for finals on Thursday. Ayak, crazy cracked out of his mind right now. Probably starting MVP player for Fierce going into season 5 of Mobile Mayhem.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What a madman.
I thought Cheto had the play right there. He threw the concussion in, immediately followed by the nade. He landed the hit with the concussion, but unfortunately they were able to reposition. Couple trades coming in. Cheto's going to spot him through the manhole cover, but one trade for each team is going to push him back right here. Is probably not loving the prospect of contesting a shotgun with his sniper, and that is the exact reason why Mike gets the frag. He's going to be the only player alive for Fierce. Struggles to get up the ladder right there. He spots Dante. I don't know how that shot didn't kill, but he's going to get shut down anyway. And NL takes the lead back into their hands once again, and they are 1 round away from a championship versus Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, what a crazy kind of glow up from the beginning of the season to NL now. I mean, again, this is not the same NL that we have seen all season. And while you could, potentially make the argument, oh, well, Fierce isn't playing with their starting lineup, I don't want to hear crap about that. Ayak is mad.
Ayak is carrying them so hard right now. Like, oh my gosh. We never see anybody carry this hard in Search and Destroy for Fierce, like, at all. So, yeah, there's absolutely
and again,
no
it's
excuse.
It's not necessarily that the rest of the team is doing bad. I mean, Forsaken has 10 kills. Sneaky's definitely underperforming compared to what we normally see. Renounce is definitely underperforming compared to what we normally see. But again, this is 4-5 right now. This is even rounds back and forth, and Ayak 13 kills on the
Why am I
board.
watching anybody besides this man? Make it a 3-piece! Make it a 3-piece! He's got 14 kills! Somebody sign this man! Oh my gosh! It's round 11. It's everything we asked for. Ajax got 14 on the board.
Dragging in the game.
Oh my gosh. Somebody sign him. I mean, this is anything you could have ever asked for in our final match of the semifinals. I don't think we can watch anybody besides Ayak off the start right here. We'll see if he can find an opening first blood, and they're going to need it as the early plant does go in for NL. Switching things up off the start, they do push the A site. It's going to be not an easy retake at all, especially with only 30 seconds on the board. This is not a good sign for Fierce, who has made 0 progress. And with not a whole lot of utility to use, they just don't have any options right now. Something has to happen at this point.
Whoa, Mike!
Mike gets the frag onto Dante. IX taking shots. He gets the first kill. Gets the assist right there. Only one player alive. Envoy gets the frag. Will he be able to take out Mike? It's not going to happen. And it's the one, the only. IX gets the defuse. Fierce stays alive. He gets 15 kills. And Fierce will be moving on to the championship versus Tribe Gaming.
And Fierce may not be undefeated in Respawn anymore, but they are still undefeated in Mobile Mayhem Season 4. They will be moving on to the finals to face off against Tribe, so big game ahead of us on Thursday. I mean, again, this is like the most ideal situation. I was saying it right from the beginning. I'd love this to go to Game 5. I'd love it to go to Round 11. Fierce stepped up big. That was a really sad to watch 6-0 victory, search and destroy that NL had on Firing Range. So for Fierce to answer back and find round 6 there in round 11, and so close on the timer too. I mean, only like 2 seconds to spare on the defuse. Ayak, absolute madman. I mean, I just came out of nowhere. Haven't really seen him play really all season long. I mean, what a game, Bobby. What a game. 15-6 for the manager. I think everybody on this team's getting a talking to after this.
Oh my gosh. I just love looking at chat's reaction to everything. That the fact that what was it, 20 seconds remaining, they didn't have a single frag. They go in for the 5-man retake. Ayak gets the frag, the major assist. He goes in, gets the defuse, Fierce wins. That is everything that you could have ever asked for in a semifinal Game 5. And, I mean, I feel like there's nothing else to say, but you guys better freaking come back on Thursday because it is going to be an absolute blast to watch.
Yeah, we need manager of the season now, so we can see who wins between Zim and Ayak.
Oh my gosh!
Or the like Rust or Shipment 1v1.
Oh man, I mean, that was chat. I hope you guys watched. My voice is gone.
Chat, there it is. There's the win. Chat's going crazy.
Chat, yeah. My voice is gone.
What a day. What a day.
I mean, this was so much fun to cast. Like, straight up. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, appreciate day casting. Hopefully my voice returns before Thursday because it's gone right now. But I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you drop a follow, like, subscribe, show some love to whoever we end up rating. And we will catch you guys Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place.